Hey, sorry about that. We just started the link, so you guys are sitting around waiting for, I guess, a second or two. But we got a fun show today, you rats. We're going to be doing our top 10 best movies of the year. Brett will talk about something, and we will we'll break it all down for you in just a little bit. Great show. We have Ben Goddard's going to engineer, so whether or not we have shots on ourselves or just him, we'll find out in a second. And Jay Washington in the house with Brett and Winston and me and whatever. You're going to see us in a second. Stop talking, Harlow. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SEN Live. Welcome back to the show. Jay Washington has never watched this show apparently before. Welcome, one and all, to the Schmoedown Entertainment Network. I am Kristian Harloff. We're almost at a new year, and Ben Goddard's going to do something today. What are you going to do? You don't know?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, he's not going to.
Oh my God, he stole RB3's chair.
He stole RB3.
Oh, Jesus.
RB3 not here today. He'll be back hopefully tomorrow. And
Jay just looked at you like you just put a wig and a dress on.
I know, it's true.
I was just like, yo, he's really gotten old. Like,
yeah, it's true.
You put on your spectacles. You didn't put on glasses.
No,
you put on spectacles.
I put on the spectacles. It's true. It's true. So, but Jay Washington is here. It's good to have you part of the Mad Titan podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we don't want to talk about that show?
I am. I was gonna say
He's like
good
trying
promotion.
to help you all
Good promotion.
Hey,
you want to talk about the show? You didn't.
Man, fuck my show.
Let's talk about your glasses.
You know what? Yeah, let's talk about the glasses. But I still do the podcast. I just haven't done it for the holidays. You know, things take a break. And plus, there's no news to talk about with Marvel and DC TV shows and movies. So I just be sitting there for 20 minutes like,
what's going on?
About cats.
Oh, yeah, you saw cats, huh?
Oh, jeez. Let me tell you something. How do I say this best? It's a fucking nightmare.
Is it a drugs?
I went in hot. Okay, keyword, went in.
Yeah.
Didn't stay hot. I had some cannabis-infused hot chocolate. Okay?
Right. I like that.
It was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I put it in with some almond milk because I can't drink regular milk, and then almonds have titties. Shut up. Next, I feel like you're going to say something. Shut up. So I took
There's gonna be a lot of this all show. I'm gonna tell you
this
now.
is a normal thing.
I know. You look like I brought an ex-girlfriend on the show.
You really did. You really
I'm
did.
that bitch that you're talking about.
Yeah, look at you.
Like,
What are you guys doing out over here?
Fiddling?
I have to.
What is this potion?
This is so for those that don't know, let's go ahead and get sponsored. Zip Fizz.
Yeah, Zip Fizz.
Get your ass woke the fuck up.
Oh, nice.
What's
Zip
the
Fizz.
worst
Good.
way you try?
Saturday Night Live.
got the
Right.
most-
Tell me about how much you love cats.
That sounds so fake.
First of all, that just sounded
It's
so
good, though.
fake.
It's good.
Dude, it's like, here's my thing. I get you want to make them look anamorphic or whatever fuck you want to call it. You give them the cat faces with the half-painted nose and the ears and the bodysuits. But why the fuck they got regular fingers? Like, this is the most terrifying shit to see on a cat. Then they had two cats who was with Jason Derulo with fucking Chuck Taylors on. Why? And then what the fuck is with the cats wearing fur coats? This is creepy as shit.
Well, that's creepy. A
That
cat
is-
wearing
a
another cat's coat and shit.
Like, and these ain't the skin of your enemies. It's just
It's like Jeffrey Dahmer wearing.
Put the kitty litter in the basket.
Yeah.
Put the lotion. So
Puts
like,
the catnip on the skin.
or else it gets the hose again. Then you had, what else was that? Fucking Rebel Wilson. Before I get to Rebel Wilson, there are people who are dressed as mice and roaches. Somebody had to audition
Well,
for
it
this
doesn't
shit.
seem like you can get bored by this movie, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's a fucking ride.
Yeah.
I sat there for like the first 30 minutes like, the fuck am I watching? And when I saw people start walking out, I was like, should I follow? They leave. But I was like, no, we're here.
You can't walk out of that movie. It's
People
like
walk-
You knew what you were walking into.
If this was like 3 weeks ago and Tom Hooper and Idris Elba, okay, I'm gonna go see this movie. Then you walk out, I get it. But at this point, everyone knows it's a disaster.
Yeah, you in there for it. Yeah,
you
for
know
all
you're
that.
going in.
It was in the news that they pulled it so he could redo some of the CGI.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way in hell you don't know that. This is a
Also,
thing.
here's another problem. You got people, like I said, dressed as mice and roaches.
Yeah.
Do you understand? You had to audition. You know what I'm saying? Your agent has to call you and say, "Hey, I got this opportunity for cats."
But the thing is, it's Tom Hooper. So
I don't give a shit.
No, you're full of shit. If you're full of shit. I saw you in the Lotto commercial, and it's a great commercial. But if Tom Hooper said in that Lotto commercial, first of all, Tom Hooper's directing it, and he wants you dressed as a roach, you'd be a fucking roach. I don't want to hear.
Let me tell you something. I did a McDonald's commercial where I talked about a crispy chicken sandwich. That was really a hard thing in my life. You know what I'm saying? Because my only line was just
don't tell me you're not going to be a roach if Tom Hooper asks you to be a roach. You're going to sing and dance and do it. Now, if you bowl asks you to do it, maybe not.
If Tom Hooper told you to dress like a roach while smoking a roach,
then you would definitely do it.
While dealing with Raid, nigga, you would do that shit.
What the fuck is this, Inception?
Dream called roach.
Dream inside a dream inside a
So, anyways, we're going to have a lot of fun on this show, obviously, today. Now, not only are we going to be talking about the top 10 best movies of the year on all of our lists, and the way we'll do it is each one of us put together a list. And this is the hardest list I've ever had to put together in my entire career of doing this over the last 10 years. This has been the hardest one to ever do. I left a lot out, and I might even change it from the second I actually do this, because there's two movies that I don't know if one's 11, one's 10, and I could change it up tomorrow. So wherever it lands today, it lands. But the way we'll do it is we'll have each one of us will give our lists, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. We'll just kind of ask some questions and see what they liked about the certain movies, why they decided one over this, and an interesting choice. Oh, interesting. This is the way Ellis and I used to do it. It's like, oh, interesting. You put that at number 5. Why, blah, 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 blah. So with you guys, what we're going to do is we're going to go to streamlabs.com/the and what I would love for you guys to do now is start, and the SCHMOEBOT will be on, we'll put it on actually after we're done with the list, because I don't want to interrupt the list in the middle of it. So we'll put the SCHMOEBOT on in a little bit.
You could put it on during my list.
Yeah, you can definitely put it on during my list. Yeah, but
I was like, you do it during this.
Yeah. But I'm going to be looking at some maybe in between the lists. We'll go to streamlabs.com/SCHMOEDOWN. You guys are the reason we're able to do the show each and every day. So whether it's Streamlabs or Super Chat, please go ahead and do that today.
Yo, I don't know if Action Army here, who's here. I need y'all to SCHMOEBOT the shit out of Jay today.
Yeah.
That's just let them get a taste of this and see. You don't know what it is, do you?
I've heard it.
Okay.
I've heard it, but you SCHMOEBOT shit out of me. I swear to God, I'm gonna make your life living hell.
No, you'll love it.
No, you'll love it.
You'll love it.
You'll love it.
You'll see.
But don't worry.
So this is so I would do before we get into it. My name is says hello. There's no question. I just appreciate what you do. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
GX Man 27. The Mandalorian is the Star Wars that we've been waiting for since 1983. I agree.
Took the wrong drugs, Jay. Should have dropped some acid.
First of all, I'd like to thank a British lady for telling me
I froze. Hey, you remember how you were like, don't you SCHMOEBOT me, nigga? I'm gonna apologize ahead of time
for saying it twice.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot between the two.
You know how I normally cap at one a show?
Yeah.
Between us, it's gonna happen a lot.
So normally I don't hide under the table. I'll do it after 4.
I'm gonna try really hard, but he brings it out of me. And I apologize.
You act like I'm the best thing in your life. Okay.
It doesn't mean that I don't have the natural urge to just call you the N-word nonstop, you N-word.
Let me tell you something. The N-words I call you on the phone via text message, and I'm trying to be professional because I have some professional people watching this. However, nigga, like
at this point, just go for it.
We started.
And my mother, who watches the show every day.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus!
She's no, she's not Jesus, but she.
Pretty close. But
Yeah,
no.
close. She's just that might have been a little too much.
Yeah.
This is the one show where she's like,
N-words.
And Ben, just to, you know how our friend Kate talks about her vagina a lot. Don't chime in on this one. Don't get too comfortable.
I fucking love this dude. I love him so
much because
he's just waiting.
No, because this is the thing. Ben gave him a nice gift here for Christmas.
Yeah, I want to show that up.
Show him. And so Brett just gave him the best gift of his career.
These are and they're Lodge too. They're Lodge. They're the oldest brand. I don't know what I'm gonna cook in these.
I have your nickname for the Schmoedown. Even though you will probably be the worst player that's ever played, you're the sniper.
Yeah. that's
hands
a
down
great
the
fucking
sniper.
name.
You're the sniper.
What's gonna be funny is he won't answer questions. He'll just be sniping at his opponent the whole time, and they'll start missing questions.
Yeah.
That's
Because
gonna
that'd be
great.
frustrating. Like,
Brett the Sniper Sheridan. It's a great name.
I tried to-
Like,
I'm
Can
gonna
you
tell
please
something.
get good at this?
I tried to take my jacket off in the studio to be comfortable. God damn
It's
it, my
cold.
nipples
It's
feel
cold.
like
Oh,
man
yeah.
thumbs.
This is a good thing though, because you're lucky because when we first started, we'd have to put the air conditioner on even at this level because the cameras were overheating. But we figured it out. But so
So the camera's gonna be good in this bitch.
that's what I'm saying. Though. So for people who wanted to come on this fucking show right away, okay, it took time to get it what it is today. So when you're on it. Now you're lucky.
Let me tell
You don't have to
something.
worry about the frame rate.
Can you put the camera on me? Because this is what this means. Yes, I'd like to say to Kristian Harloff, who is literally talking about
Not
me.
just you. Not just you.
Not just you.
Not just
Not
you.
just you.
It's
Oh,
not just you. I
Okay.
told you on the phone it wasn't just you. What I'm trying to tell people is that when this first started, you're lucky that people would even known it was you. Because
The frame rate, and then you want to talk about the SCHMOEBOT. The SCHMOEBOT would be like, "Why is your frame rate trash, nigga?" Like that
that's
Your
what I'm
frame
saying.
rate is hella garbage, nigga. Like it sounds, nigga. And it's all broken down into syllables and shit. Like it ain't even a regular, just the way the N word just together. Like I'd have been okay if the SCHMOEBOT's like, nigga, but it's just like, nigga.
No, it says
like,
knitters. And,
It says knitters.
Knits. It does say it.
Oh,
because
also,
Brett,
There's a lot of words I can't say.
Oh, yeah,
because
of
Kate,
course.
Kate likes to knit. So that's what we've been calling
That
her
was a
and her.
whole episode where after she did it, I was like,
Careful.
y'all gotta be careful.
Welcome to the jungle that is Sen Live, Jay. FYI, I won't be able to bring my top 10 of the year because I haven't seen enough movies because college life.
Okay,
Seeing Knives Out and Uncut Gems today and tomorrow and looking forward to them.
you done? Are you done? Because she took
Are you done?
She
She
took a
strokes
pause.
out a little
Because
bit.
she took a pause.
She
She was like, fuck, when I say that. She was like an actor on set, couldn't remember her lines. Like, oh, shit. Line? Oh.
Yeah, Zombies Eviction can go suck a fart.
Yeah, I saw that too. Fuck that guy.
It's just like
What did it say?
no. It's just like I look at certain comments every once in a while, and I see him, and it's just like you will never be. You're out. It's like I love taking people by the pants, right? It's just like you're in my store, and you came with your dick hanging out. So now
you gotta get thrown
now
out.
you're out, and you're gonna try to come back in. It's like I don't want to watch this stream. I'll go back to doing movie reviews. Go fuck yourself.
I hate when, yo, like I told, Leah Winston told her when we do some of our reviews, like, yo, y'all comment some shit that's like, you could have saved this. Like,
Yeah, but even then, it's just like just go to another show.
just go.
Go to another show. Get out of here.
Why are you
No one
not
wants you.
How
No one wants
dare
you.
you not talking about the baby Yoda that isn't a Yoda, you fuckers?
I know. Who cares? So, all right. Anyway, so we're back on streamlabs.com/the Schmoedown. As soon as I'm done with these questions, we'll get to a top 10 list. Whose we don't know yet, but we'll do that soon. Now let's go here with my name. We did that already. Excuse me so much. It's Always Sunny in Philly. I'm at work. 1:10 a.m. East Coast time, and I have been watching all the old Schmoedowns on the SEN network. Man, how the game has changed from earlier on. You can watch the evolution of the game and the evolution of all the players. Old or new, it's been great. Yeah, that's kind of the goal. You know, when you're doing this this show in general, is if we want to turn it into a sport, you can't stay the same way. Because even when we're putting on season 3, you look how differently and how radically it's changed. You know, I mean, that's when you came in. You came in season 3, and it's like the game is so different now.
Let me tell you something. Here's the one thing I have. Like, yo, the game was so, when we all started doing it, we all were just having fun. We would come to the studio. If you knew something, you knew it. If you didn't, you didn't. But we all just had fun every week.
There was no studying.
It was no study. That's when shit got real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you see Kevin Smets with a whole MP3 file full of 5,000 trivia questions that he just laying down sleep listening to, when you should be listening to white noise or a white woman. And then you got Mike Cal-
He's got that cover for RB3.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry, we'll get back to it. Go ahead, finish your thing.
Okay.
Someone will ask. So the Schmoebot will ask you soon. You'll know.
Okay. and then you got Mike and Ben Bateman, all them with freaking 5-6-inch binders. Like, yo.
Oyama.
Oh, yeah. Here's my thing.
Won't be able to listen live tomorrow as it's New Year's here. Here's to a great 2020. Look at Winston acting all surprised yesterday when Brett mentioned his Amazon wish list. Check your Twitter tags, fool, you were on the same tweet.
You're right. I forgot.
Anthony
I
Nugent.
Who
thought
called you out
I,
like that?
well,
Anthony Nugent,
I
he's-
thought I dreamed it up, but no. He tweeted me and was like, "Hey, do y'all have wish lists?"
Yeah.
He's exactly right. I literally thought I made that shit up in my head. So
No, you didn't.
Okay, I guess I'll make a wish list. I feel
I
weird
got an
about
Amazon wish list. I got a.
Nigga, it's your first time on the show. Calm
Shut your
down.
black ass up. Look, why would you hate my comeuppance? God damn it, I hate black people with dread. Anyway.
Anthony was the only one that I knew who they were. I still need. I haven't thanked a couple people for
But
the
Anthony
toilet
Nugent,
paper,
yeah.
but I sent him a personal message. But I wanted to thank him. He was very
he's the man.
generous and very appreciated this Christmas.
Let's go back to what you said.
But also,
So,
it was like now you got people with blind. Like, yo, the fact that I know Mike and Shannon's relationship outside the game, and Shannon got to be MVP of everybody because
I mean, shit, she turned into a manager now.
she turned to a man. But the fact she sat there and was like, "Do all this studying, go
Yeah.
ahead, just let it." Like, I'm not finna dedicate my life to just sitting there watching not the same 5 freaking movies. I don't want to watch a Harry Potter film that many goddamn
Right.
times to remember a number. Also, like it has evolved to that. And I think it's weird at the same time where it's like now you see because you see how it stressed Rachel out.
Right. Well, I mean, some players, and that's the thing. Certain players want it and want to keep doing it, because in the beginning of it, it was about let's do it for just competing and see where this thing goes. Now you got these people like the Oyamas and Chance and people who are and there's new people coming in. I announced this kid like Robert Parker, who they study and they do these things too. The game has changed because it's going into sport, and that's why we changed it into the team sport it will be next year with all the managers, because the evolution. And I have something that I'm going to announce there's just one big announcement on this show today, but there's going to be another kind of major announcement over the next like week or two that I can announce. But it's the whole thing's kind of changing over because it did start and be fun, but I want to turn movie trivia into the next kind of esports, and I think that we are in the precipice of doing that.
I mean, shit, the winners of that getting millions of dollars, which means the people that put it on are making millions of dollars.
Hey,
Motherfucker,
real
let's
talk.
go.
Like you watch kids just sitting in these comfortable ass racing car chairs, just like
That's what I'm saying.
And
So
just-
it's like if that caught on, and you look at in the way that I thought that the audience that is hooked into it, that understands it, that really gets it, that made me realize that this can be a thing, because once they lock in, we got to market it more.
But I think the thing, and I tell you this because for those who don't know, Kristian and I are real good friends, and one of the things is you have to reach that market outside of the norm.
100%.
Because now it becomes, and I give some of the fans some shit sometimes, but as a whole, it's, for lack of better terms, it's a snake with its tail.
Yeah.
Because it's the same people. So now you have to figure out how to break outside of it.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
We got to hit the wrestling audience. We got to hit the casual audience. You got to hit a lot of this audience.
What?
Did you just say get your ass out your mouth?
No.
No, what the fuck?
He just said it's a snake in its tail, so he just said you have to get your ass out your mouth. Essentially, is how I.
Is that what you heard? Is that what you really heard?
You said a snake
I
eating
didn't
its
say
tail.
that. You don't want to sit there. What's
That's that Zip Fizz talking over there.
Crackhead thoughts. I sat here had organic celery juice like a dumbass.
Let's do this real quick before we go. Let's do a. We did It's Always Sunny in Philly. It's Always Sunny in Philly again. Hey, I saw the show headline, so I wanted to give my top 10 of the year in no order. Parasite, Endgame, Rocket Man, Peanut Butter Falcon, Ready or Not. That wasn't this year. Dr. Sleep.
Ready or Not is this year.
Ready or Not was.
not.
I'm thinking Ready Player One. You're
Yeah,
right.
Ready
You're
or
right.
Not
You're
is
right.
this year.
You're 100% right. Sorry about that. Dr. Sleep, Ford versus Ferrari, Knives Out, Richard Jewell, and Late Night. Thoughts and thanks. Well, I do like a lot of these, and a lot of these are on my list, but I don't want to give it away yet. It's Always Sunny, so we will get to you. We'll get to a lot of those. Will be in a lot of these lists for sure. And I'm wondering how many, if there's any that missed. Cast Iron Gang. Jay has the number 2 pick. What a coincidence, because that's the exact number of things you can do about it. That's funny.
Oh, that's cute.
That's good.
I see what you're doing there.
You know what we should do? Let's just do this now.
Let's just do it now. All right.
All right. So we have a big announcement for the draft.
I have a question about that when you're done announcing it too.
No, you shut the hell up and you just shut your
I'm
face.
gonna let Jay announce it too.
All right, so here's the deal. So as we know, at the Spectacular, I announced Villains and Heroes is another team for the Schmoedown. But also, if you follow me on social media, if you really pay attention, you understand that I've been hella busy this past year, and it has only elevated. Winston knows exactly how busy I've been and how busy I'm about to be. With that, I do not believe I'll be able to hold to the obligations of managing a team in the Schmoedown. So I will not be managing Villains and Heroes. However, Here's where this nappy-headed hoe comes in. Shouts out to Don Imus.
He just died, by the way.
I know he did.
First of all, good. Second of all,
Don Imus was a racist and a sexist.
I know he was.
second of all, you just said the one thing that was worse than nigga on this channel.
But I just want to make it clear. He said.
Yo, oh shit. So, Jesus
Brett's
Christ.
so uncomfortable over there.
Brett just like, he was.
It's strictly going to be this shot from now on.
Brett's out here like gang gang. Gang gang.
He looks like Robin Williams in like the poet. What's it? Not
Dead
Dead Poet.
Poets
Not Dead Poet.
Society?
No. The one with Jeff Bridges.
Oh, Fisher King?
Fisher King. Yeah. Look at Robin Williams.
Top 10 of 2019, Fisher King.
I took it off and I had this like my receding hairline was
I like
really
it.
bad, so
I don't
I
mind
went
it.
back.
I don't mind it. You look nervous. Don't be nervous.
If
Jay, go
somebody
ahead,
just
Jay.
tuning in right now, see the shot of Brett sitting between the two of us singing, they're gonna be like, "See, we knew it."
True.
So with that, I won't be managing. However, I've decided to go into a consulting and advising part of the Schmoedown and advising a certain person and group. That's gonna be this one. It'll be Winston and Swag because
What?
why? Because you've never managed.
That's not what I was gonna say.
Okay, because like you was asking that question, because you've never managed. However, I will teach you like techniques and how to have players get calm and shit like that. And so
Which, by the way, you don't get enough credit for, because in New York, when Janine was playing against Chance, people didn't see the behind the scenes thing there too, where it was a great conversation, a nice moment that you guys had, both you and Janine, where it was one of her, I think it was her first live event.
Yeah.
So and in New York, and it's really where she won over the crowd, but it was that conversation that you had with her, calm her down, her nerves, and she almost won that match. I mean, that was a great match.
Yeah, because it came down to X-Men Apocalypse, because they was like comic book movies. I was like, yes, in X-Men Apocalypse, fuck.
Right.
Like, but so doing that also, I feel like I can rock with you more on that, know, and then.
So you'll be an official advisor, the same way Grace is an advisor to Fight Club. Okay.
Yes. So.
No, I respect it and I'm excited about it. I'm saying the reason I said why is why you gotta come at me like that to say I'm gonna advise you. Like, I'm gonna advise this dumbass motherfucker with the shit. What a Don Imus
you know
nigga.
why? You know why? You know why? You want to know why I said it? I need you to look at me with your eyes.
Go
Okay,
ahead,
open your beady ass eyes.
go ahead.
Okay, this is why I said it. Because for some fucking reason I care, and you know I won't talk shit about your black ass.
I know why you care.
You know why I care?
Yeah.
Why do I care?
Merry Christmas, bitch. That's all I'm saying.
Very true. But besides that, I mean, if I can't, like I said, wrestling has taken off again, which I didn't expect it to hit a platform like it has. Acting has done some things, it's doing some major stuff. Hosting, between what him and I may have also is a big thing. So on top of my stand-up career. So it's just like I don't have that time. And working. Like, people who know me know, like, I have a regular job. I'm a bouncer at a nightclub. The one that Ben works at where he's a horrible bartender. I bullshit. But no, it's like I have so much that I'm trying to do, and it's literally eating up a lot of my time, and I can't complain because I made that schedule.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when we leave here, him and I got to go record some reviews for some TV shows,
Right.
and I got to edit them and have them uploaded. And so it's like those different things, and consistently.
Yeah. And so you and I talked about it for a bit. We had a good conversation. We talked for like 20 minutes yesterday. And we thought this was kind of the best option.
Yeah.
And so people have been asked already in the chat, like, so what does that mean? So there are no longer 10 teams.
Yep.
There are 9 teams. No one else is taking over Jay's team, or there's no one else that's like, we're not going to bring in another manager. We're just going to 9 teams.
Sorry, BC, because BC was like, "Hey, you should tell Kristian I could take over."
No, there's none of that. We're doing 9 teams, but what it means is that the teams will now go back to 10 spots as opposed to 8 spots, 10 spots that will have to be filled at one point or another throughout the season. And it also means that there's only, like I said, there's 9 picks that are going to be in round 1. Now, the other thing I announced on the Facebook group is that only the champions in the top 5 teams will be protected. No longer will teams 6 through 10 have a soft protection. So, for example, if you draft Janine, you don't have the option to take Ethan. You will you'll have to hope in the next round, if you want to keep them together, that no one else takes them. So 6 through 10 are no longer soft protected. It's either 1 through 5. So, if you draft Mark Andreyko, then you have to take Snyder. That's definitely the case. The top 5 teams will be protected. So that is the overall. That's how it's going to go. You have 9 picks. No, you cannot have Jay's pick. So
listen, I would have gave you my pick. You know what I'm saying? I would have done some nice stuff.
You couldn't negotiate. That couldn't be the first thing you do when you say, I'm going to advise Swag, is negotiate the motherfucking pick.
Nigga, first of all, let me tell you something. I'm doing you a favor right here, okay? Well, I got to negotiate shit for you. You better learn how this game. All right, cover your ears, Brett. Let me tell you. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
You know, you got to get the fit. Let me you dirty. Let me tell you. Get it out. Yeah.
This is the black version of what you and Kate do.
Right, you and Kate have that abridged version. This is the one where everybody like they might start fighting and shoot. Like people ain't sure they're like, oh shit, what happens? Do we get it? Do we call 911 from the computer? Like somebody be like, hey, there's 2 black guys on there.
RB3 took off.
You garbage, boy.
You garbage. All right, let's get into some of this shit.
Okay, so I just want to say that I zoomed in on your face while they were talking, and I was waiting for it because I know you just had it in the chamber, and so that was A+. Right
You're starting to learn. You're starting to learn my rhythm. All right, let's get into this this list, and because Ben, I know that you have I guess like a top 30 list because
it was a tough year, like just to whittle it down. So I have 20 movies. I'm doing a separate top 10 on my own channel.
Yeah.
So this is basically my 11 through 20. So,
look at you trying to search. So everybody like, yeah. So what's the
well, I mean, like,
11 to 20?
No,
Now, give me your top 10. That wasn't until it was before because you want to put it on your channel. Fuck off. Doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that.
Wait,
no, you put 11 through 20 on your fucking channel.
Wait, don't you want
my 500 subscribers deserve the good stuff?
Brett had an actually really good point. Go ahead, Brett.
Don't you want people to see your list?
Well, I'm going to get on about it.
Yo, hit the music. Hit the music like a motherfucker.
Barry.
Which one is the music button? Is it the green one? I'll do it.
It's like Barry Pepper and Saving Private Ryan. Oh, so good.
Oh, man.
God
I
damn.
love
Dominic,
man.
what are you talking about, you shit ass?
So
What are you
good.
talking about?
Dude, you're like that dude in Wonder Woman, except you actually take the shot. Oh, man.
Yeah, all right.
You're a real son of a bitch.
After he gives me a gift, I mean, what kind of a
Brett
ass?
Hawkeye Sheridan.
right.
Fuck.
Here we go. All right, Ben, so go ahead and give us your top 10, not 11 through 20.
Okay. So 10, I've got Rocket Man, Taron Egerton.
Good
I
one.
felt like this was so much better than Bohemian Rhapsody. That's how like I really like seeing like a musical biopic. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like I feel like it's very paint by numbers. Like they get famous, they do drugs, they do this song, this song, this song. They do more drugs, and then they redeemed. Like I really like the musical aspect of it.
It's very different, yeah.
Yeah. Number 9, Little Women. This might be a little recency bias, but damn, Greta Gerwig, Timothée Chalamet, and Saoirse Ronan need to make movies forever because they're so great together.
Okay.
Number 8, Marriage Story. Adam Driver can do no wrong. Scarlett Johansson, best role she's had, along with another movie that's on my list. Number 7 and 6 are going to be surprises, even for me. Number 7's Frozen 2.
Oh.
Frozen was like a B minus for me. I was not ready for how much I loved the music, the animation, the humor, the heart of Frozen 2. And number 6 is Klaus, the Netflix original Christmas movie.
Wow. Damn.
I watched this movie at like midnight to like fall asleep to. Hour and a half later, I'm bawling.
Really? I got to watch it. I
That
haven't.
is an instant Christmas, like yearly classic for me.
Shoot, okay.
Like, and I'm not a crier at movies at all.
You a lie.
You're
Your
a
face,
swear.
Your
You're-
face
swear.
says
No,
you're
I believe it. He doesn't.
No, but you are a big John Cryer fan.
Oh, man.
You You're gonna clap for that shit.
Yep. Yes, I am.
We need a dad joke button.
We really do.
You really do like John Cryer, right? Did you hear what I said to him? I said to him, he likes John Cryer movies.
That's that guy from 2.5 Men.
That's what I says to him. I says, Jay, did you hear what I says to him? I says to him, I looked at him and I looked at him in his face and I says to him, did you hear? I'm sure you like the John Cryer movies though, right? Am I right, guys?
They barely reviewed movies yet for 25 minutes.
John Cryer. Look about the Baby Yoda. John Cryer.
There's so many dislikes being hit right now.
Oh my God, so good. Oh, so good. All right, hit me, Ducky.
Okay. This audience does not know that fucking reference.
Oh, so good.
I have to go get a water. Sorry.
All right, good. Way to tune in.
Number 5 is Avengers Endgame. Perfect conclusion to the whole Infinity War saga. Saw it 5 times in theaters, so I got to put it somewhere on this list. Number 4 is Parasite. Bong Joon-ho is also a director that I will literally line up first in line to see whatever he does, and it was like better than expected.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Jojo Rabbit, the other Scarlett Johansson role. Taika Waititi really did something special, I feel like, with this movie, towing the line of making Hitler funny, but not like forgetting who Hitler is, and just the perspective of the little boy and I can't think of her name, but she's from Leave No Trace. She's one of my favorite up-and-coming actresses. Everybody in that movie is hilarious, but still very heartfelt. Number 2, The Lighthouse, directed by Robert Eggers, who did The Witch. I finally saw The Witch this year, and it was amazing. And then this movie's so wild. If Willem Dafoe or Robert Pattinson doesn't get nominated, like, I'll be so shocked and offended. And then number 1 is 1917.
Damn.
I wanted to see this movie, but it looked a little too much like Dunkirk for me. But then I went to the Q&A with with Sam Mendes and Roger Deakins, and what they did with this movie, it's all one shot.
Yep.
Like, the acting's so amazing. Obviously, it's like a bunch of takes, but they're all like 11-minute takes at least. And they had to build full trenches because it's all one tracking shot. It's crazy, and it's literally like an hour and 40 minutes of like heart attack.
That's Ben's list. That's a pretty good list. So just to go over that again, we have Rocketman at number 10, Little Women at 9, then Marriage Story at 8, Frozen 2 coming in the 7th spot, 6 is Klaus, 5 is Endgame, 4 Parasite, 3 Jojo Rabbit, 2 The Lighthouse, and then 1 1917. I have there's a bunch of movies that you have in there that I have in my list. Rocketman made my honorable mentions. Really wanted. So did Little Women. Those are 2 that are on my honorable mentions. Marriage Story also on my honorable mentions. But those are 3 movies that I definitely really enjoyed. I had so much trouble last night making this list because I hadn't watched Jojo Rabbit, and I saw it last night. And I liked it, but it also makes my honorable mentions. I think that it's the same damn thing that happened to me with a lot of, like, when there was so much hype behind it. And I think it's a really good movie. I think it's a funny movie. I think it's an important movie. I think that it's a very smart movie, the way that Taika blends in this very serious subject matter, but he can still make it kind of a very lighthearted comedy, because there are some moments in it that are darker, but it never goes away from the tone of what the film is.
The shoes part.
Yes,
like, I won't spoil it, but the shoes just like
it's
out of
hard.
left field,
yeah,
but
man.
it hurt.
It absolutely did. Yeah. But it fit, but it wasn't. But it wasn't out of left field in the way that it didn't feel like this is a different movie.
No.
It felt consistent with the film.
You just didn't expect it. Just like him, like bumping into the shoes, you're like, no.
Right. So I don't know. I don't know if, because I watched it so fresh, that with another viewing it could make my top 10. It just doesn't at the moment.
No, for sure. Like, that is a thing though, of just like the hype. Like, if you see a movie late, like that's how it was with like The Hangover.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's like, this is the funniest movie ever, and I saw it at the very end of its theater run. And I was like, that was good. Right. It was really funny, but I was, it's up here. And
I know. I wonder if I would have seen it like when it came out, if it was different. So we'll shift on over to because this will be quick. Brett, let's.
Hey, we'll be doing this shit real fast.
Listen, we're going to get to Brett's top 10 of the year. Brett, you have a very extensive top 10.
Yes.
Please go ahead. Here's Brett Sheridan's top 10.
All right, coming in at number 1 is Toy Story 4 because it's the only film I've seen from this year.
Holy shit.
But I got a few television programs I'd like you to
you're
check
do
out.
the posters.
Well, I changed it up.
You changed it up. Okay, so you're going to do TV shows.
I had to do a couple TV shows because I spent a lot of time with the kids watching shows and stuff with my wife. Right. I discovered one last night that I think everybody should check out. It's called Flirty Dancing.
I heard about this.
I heard about it. Yeah.
I heard about it.
My wife was like, "This is stupid." I'm like, "Shut up!" It's beautiful.
Can you review it drunk?
They have to learn to dance. 2 separate people learn to dance by themselves,
right.
And then they meet somebody they've never seen before, and they perform this dance. And then there's either 2 men and 1 woman, or two women, 1 man, or 2 theys and 2 days. I don't know, whatever they want to identify. And I'm telling you, it's heart-wrenching and beautiful, and I wanted every show to just change their format to this show.
That's with Jenna Dewan hosting, right?
Yes. Okay. But it actually, I kind of just had it on in the background. I'm like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, you liked it.
It was
all right,
fun.
so that's number 1. That's number 10.
Number 1. It already made it to number 1, I guess.
Okay,
I don't know.
good.
I have about 47 shows. That's
What?
Do a quick run.
Skin Wars is a really fun one that I've watched with the family. It's
Skin
about
Wars, is that
people
the porn?
doing. It sounds like it,
yeah.
but they do body painting with spray paint and stuff like
cool.
that. And I watch it with my kids, and people say, "Why would you watch this show with your kids?" Because it makes them not have these negative. I feel like a lot of people put negative things on bodies and make kids feel ashamed of and stuff like that. And I'm very open with like, hey, we're all naked sometimes. We all have different body parts, whatever. So that was a fun show for me. Kimmy Schmidt, I don't know the full name of it.
The Unbreakable
Yeah.
Kimmy Schmidt.
That one, the writing on that is amazing.
Isn't it last season?
Final season.
That's Tina Fey, right?
Yeah.
Writing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's so
That
great.
show was wonderful. Fleabag, I really enjoyed. Of
Is it
course,
Tina Fey or Amy Poehler?
Tina Fey.
Is it? Okay, what the fuck do I know?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Fleabag, saw it in reverse order, still just as good as if you watched
What?
What did you say?
He said he saw Fleabag in reverse order.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
Why?
My wife just started and we were watching it, and then it goes, now, do you want to see season 1? We're like, what? Listen, sometimes we have wine before we start watching programs. Nailed It is a great show to watch with your children. It's people that are pourable bakers.
Horrible or
Horrible or
horrible?
That could be the same thing.
They're poor and horrible.
I'm still in drunk review. Let's see. Oh, Blown Away is about glass blowing.
Now that one's a porn. No. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
I didn't watch that with my kids.
I should have done a list that was porn movie or
Hold on.
Netflix show.
Flirty Dancing, Skin Wars, Blown Away,
Yeah.
Nailed It.
We
This
gotta
is
see a
all
pattern in all
porn.
this.
This is all porn.
This is Brett's sexual endeavors for 2019.
Look at his dance. This is Flirty Dancing right here.
Yeah, just Pole
He's so
Dark.
excited.
Pole Dark. That one sounds pretty dirty too.
Yeah.
And I think that's about it. I got a couple. Breaking Bad. Anybody heard of this one? I saw that one. Big hot movie, hot television program this year.
Did you watch El Camino yet?
I did watch El Camino.
So that's the movie you watched.
Yes, you
actually
did. Oh, yeah. So that's
Does
your number
that count?
2. Yeah, it's your number 2.
1 or 2. Which one was
yeah.
better, that or Toy Story?
I did not like. I felt maybe because I had just watched Breaking Bad, I didn't like it. I didn't think there was a big payoff. It just was kind of like, and I think people were starved for content from that were big fans of it.
Okay.
Well, that's the list.
But and then Mandalorian.
Okay. Oh, here you go.
Yeah, Mandalorian is number 1.
I would say with that list, he nailed it. You see what I said there? What I did there?
Fucking. You know what's funny? As soon as he said nailed it, you're like, gonna tuck that one away?
I went back there and I told him because he put it up in one of his lists. So I said, you know what I did there, Jay? I said he nailed it.
God
Oh,
God damn it.
All right, cool. So let's go. You know what? Let's go to Streamlabs and we're gonna come back to the list here. But streamlabs.com/the Schmoedown. We're getting a lot of questions. So I want to
Really?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of them.
The timestamps are going to read Brett's top 10 movies, 33 minutes. Brett ends his top 10 movies, 33 minutes and 5 seconds.
Yeah, so let's see. It's Always Sunny in Philly did that already. Cast Iron Gang. Sean Pesterson. Kristian, I think you owe Matt Smith an apology. I do not. Matt Smith was in a scene that was cut out, so you owe me an apology. Sean Pertisol, since you modeled so many Schmoedown events after WWE pay-per-views, WrestleMania and Royal Rumble, have you ever considered a Survivor Series type format match? I would have loved to seen Horseman versus Lions. Then, yeah, we've definitely considered it, and we might be able to do something like that eventually. Still working on some new things. ZCM Zombie Custom Maps. What is Jay's thoughts on the MJ musical, the Michael Jackson musical that Johnny Depp's producing?
You've heard about this, right?
Yes.
The fucking glove.
The glove is trying to tempt him to touch me. First of all, how much cocaine was done in the planning of this? Somebody was like, yo, the glove, right? We got to do something with the glove. Somebody was like, what if the glove make him touch babies? Like,
Oh, man.
Cause like that's how I feel it came.
I haven't even heard of this, but this is
Can we call RB3 just to bring up the glove? Because you go
Nah, he's
just
getting his eyes checked, remember?
Oh yeah.
Leave him alone.
His ears are working fine. Just
Well, he's in the middle of the doctor.
that.
Whatever. All right.
It's like 10 minutes.
That is true.
You can't have RB3 laughing like he does like this.
That's
while he's
true.
getting his
Yeah,
eye
That's
examined.
true.
Right.
Though I just want to make sure that he's not going to a place where it's like a discount eye exam and it's not even the machine. It's just someone like, okay, come here, RB3. It just blowing his eye.
Hey, wait, they dilate his eye. They be like, look, give me that. They be like, yo, is this just Visine? Shut up.
Okay, let's see. Let's get to. All right, so Douglas Johnson put in a SCHMOEBOT. So did Tim Sim. Jackson Barber. Since you've seen 1917, where would you rank it among Roger Deakins movies? Blade Runner 2049, Fargo, Jarhead, No Country for Old Men, Shawshank, Sicario, Skyfall. Is he guaranteed another Oscar? I think so. I think he's gonna win the Oscar this year. Where I'd rank it, it's pretty high up there for me. I would put, I think, Sicario and Shawshank ahead of it, but I would probably put it pretty close after that, because even though Blade Runner 2049, it really is, it's gorgeous to look at. There's just something about 1917 where I don't know. Deakins.
Just like I don't know where I'd rank it. It'd be close at the top. But the fact that you did that whole list and he only has one Oscar, like out of all those
Yeah.
movies,
He has
is
one?
so- he just won
Yeah.
for Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
That was
He
it.
just won.
That was it.
He didn't
That's
win
why
for Shawshank.
No,
Did I
because
know about
everybody.
that?
That's why it was such a big deal with Blade Runner 2049. Everybody's
Yeah.
like, yes, he finally won. He finally got it.
And they gave it to him. I think also. I mean, this is a great movie, and I think he deserved it also. But he probably also got it because
a Lifetime Achievement
let's
Award.
give this
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, and I hope he does it again.
I mean, that's how I felt about. Well, I guess the difference was. Well, no, because you guys just said Blade Runner was beautiful to look at, but it wasn't necessarily. I mean, then
Blade
it's
Runner
the
was
same
too
thing.
loud. I felt like an old grandpa in the
old
theater.
man.
I did. I was like, why is it so goddamn loud?
Right.
Even I sat in front of Tim Allen and he even didn't say that.
He probably said some other shit like too many niggers in the future. That sounds like stuff Tim Allen would say.
He's not a racist.
Yeah,
Buzz Lightyear hella racist.
That's actually the problem. So there were two things. I mean, the first, he went on like a tirade during the last
I didn't know
election.
any of
But the bigger thing is during the Toy Story 4 thing, there was somebody doing a press junket with them. And Tom Hanks apparently knew all the shit. I don't know if maybe just because he did Black Jeopardy
Oh,
on
yes,
SNL.
yes,
he did. He knew it all.
He was all down. And then Tim Allen was like, are you done with me? Can I go? Like, I don't fucking need to be here for this.
Yeah.
Like, he was very dismissive of this black person.
Yeah, he was real dismissive.
Oh, I didn't see any of that.
Hell yeah. Like, oh.
Yeah, it's
why-
about like playing dominoes, right? Or
Something like
some
that.
dominoes
Something like
or
that.
dice. something
It was
like that.
dominoes. And also, because Tom Hanks had a dope-ass question. It was like spades, too. It was like something he was talking about. But then, also, when he was like, well, why can't I say the N-word? Nigga, this is why. Like, that was one of the biggest things. So, like, Tim Allen, Buzz Lightyear is hella racist.
Wow,
like,
I didn't know
his
that.
To Infinity Beyond is to white
Beyond.
settlement. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's why the little glass thing was a metaphor for his hood. He just
Yeah, it was
put
for his
on.
hood. It's a metaphor for his hood.
Didn't know that one.
That's why.
I just want to say I didn't like any of the Toy Story movies.
Nice, well
This
done.
is the funniest man on the internet.
Anthony Nugent put a very generous Streamlabs, and thank you, Anthony, as always. Really appreciate that. ZCM Zombie Custom Maps. Out of the 3 movies directed by James Mangold, Logan, 310 to Yuma, Ford versus Ferrari, how do you rank them from best to worst? Again, harder to do, but right now I think I would say Logan, Ford versus Ferrari, and then 310 to Yuma. Yeah, for sure.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
310 is number 1 for me.
I have not seen Ford versus Ferrari.
You don't
dude.
you don't like Rogue One, so I don't really respect anything you have to say.
True.
Jesus.
Screenwriters don't like Rogue One.
Are you a
Tony
screenwriter?
Gilroy
Are you a
does.
screenwriter?
Good directors don't like Rogue One.
Can I see your portfolio?
That's the silliest take that anyone's ever said.
Because also
It's not an actual.
So you don't like so
What did
by that what you just said, how silly that was, what you just said. So you don't like so you have to take Avengers off the list because Francis Ford Coppola is a great director and he doesn't like those movies. So you don't like those movies, then is what you
No,
just said.
what I'm
Hey,
saying
neither
is
does-
that's
neither
not.
does Martin
no,
Scorsese.
That's what
that's
you said.
no, it's not.
You said good directors don't like Rogue One. Well, good directors, Francis
No,
Ford Coppola, good director, correct?
Kind of.
Oh my God!
What did you just say?
it was nice
He's a
to know
great
Vin's
director. He has
mentions.
not made a good movie in like 30 years.
What does that mean? We're talking in
Yeah,
general.
we're
So
talking-
you didn't have that.
Okay, Kobe-
You just went like
Time out,
this
time out,
and
time out.
jumped into a pool of shit.
I'm not going to let you play that card because Kobe was a terrible basketball player his last like 4 years. And
But he
Kobe's
made
one of the
a
greatest of
Oscar-
all
Yeah.
time.
And he
He's
made
a
an
good
Oscar-winning-
director. Rogue One is not a good movie.
Well, but to that point, like he said, Francis Ford Coppola didn't like Avengers.
That's
you
one
don't
man's
like Avengers.
opinion. This is my opinion.
But you said good directors
Directors
don't like that
or
movie. That's what you
screenwriters.
said.
Yes.
What
We're
do you
just
mean, yes?
using, we're just
Yes,
using your
you-
logic
We're just
against
using your
you.
logic for another movie.
I know that.
You were
I'm
getting,
saying because
this
that
is
movie
like
was.
Rocky 3 when Clubber Lang is just punching Rocky.
Yeah, I
in the
won't let it
corner.
go. I will not let it go.
Oh, well, Rocky got knocked out.
Well, Gareth Edwards didn't even direct that movie. Gareth Edwards.
No, he didn't. No, it was Tony Gilroy. I agree with you there, but it was.
That's what I'm saying.
It was,
It's two movies like mashed together. There's no cohesiveness in the entire film, and you can see that.
Okay, I'm glad that your list is done. All right, all right. So let's see. So now we get to Suge9323, Jay Washington in the house. So let's just run off the road here. Top 5 wrestlers all time. He's going The Rock, Stone Cold, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, and Ric Flair. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's a good ass list.
Say those 5 again.
So here's his 5. He goes The Rock, Stone Cold, Bret, Shawn Michaels, and Ric Flair. It's a good list.
Dusty Rhodes,
Missing
The
somebody,
Undertaker. Dusty Rhodes, The Undertaker, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and The Rock.
Yeah, you're missing somebody. You're both missing somebody.
Who?
Ooh, yeah.
Macho-
You're missing one of the best in
You know
the
what?
world, brother. Ooh,
Macho
yeah.
was a different type of beast, I will admit. But for me, it was the wrestlers I named all changed and elevated the game.
You don't think Randy Savage elevated the game in '88?
No, Savage was one of the characters that we had come to life. I guess he did. He's
Yeah,
iconic.
man, he switched over. He's the first real champion after Hogan after that 5-year run or whatever
Yeah,
it
this
was.
is true. I mean,
and WrestleMania 4 because they needed somebody to carry over. They didn't think Savage was going to be the guy to do it.
and he ended up, listen, Macho Man did it. What do you got to say, Winston? I want to hear you.
I was just confused that all y'all left Hulk off this.
Fuck Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
I know he's racist. That's
No,
not what
no,
I'm
no,
about.
I don't.
Hulk Hogan as a wrestler. As a wrestler
is definitely not
no,
top
not a
five.
great wrestler. Now, it depends on what he's looking at there. As far as it's hard
You
to
mean
say
overall?
Overall, when you're looking at what they did, elevating the game overall, hard to not put him in there.
Yeah, because
But when
that's
you
why I
look-
put Triple H in
Yeah,
there.
but when you're putting wrestlers in there, I'm putting Flair in there. I'm putting Savage. I'm putting Bret Hart.
I mean, if you give me 5 times, I'll put Steamboat in there eventually.
yeah,
I mean,
he just didn't have enough of a run, and
That's-
Vince fucked him.
Oh,
bad.
Vince fucked Steamboat royally.
Yeah.
He fucked Ricky Steamboat. That's why
Really
everybody
Schlong,
consists.
schlong, 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 schlong,
There you
schlong,
go.
schlong, 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 schlong. Schlong, 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 fuck, 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 fuck.
They found a way to get around it.
Fuck, 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 fuck.
Yeah. Come on, one more time.
What just?
I tried to tell you.
Welcome to the SCHMOEBOT, motherfucker. Let's see. So yeah, that's our list. Broken Clocks. I found Kristian through the Night Falls movie fight. What he did was hilarious, and I had to subscribe. It was one of my favorite movie fight questions. One of my favorite movie fight questions is Hollywood's best celeb name. So who was Hollywood's best? Ben, Jennifer, Robert. Ben. Let's see. Robert Redford's probably got to get the best Robert, right? Let's see. Ben.
I like Ben Foster. It's just
Ben Mendelsohn.
It's Mendelsohn.
Ooh, that's
Mendelsohn's
Mendelsohn
a good
just
one.
has
Mendelsohn's
it,
good.
It just has power to it.
Yeah.
Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah, I like Jennifer Garner, so I'll take Garner.
You're just talking names, not like the best to do it with that name.
Yeah, just his name.
Best to do it with? I mean,
Hollywood
in
name.
another life.
That wasn't. See, now that wasn't a dad joke. That was a creepy uncle joke. I appreciated that.
Bravo.
You see what I said?
Robert De Niro, Ben Kingsley,
Yeah, Ben Kingsley is
Oh,
yeah, Tom Hardy. I don't know.
Jennifer Lawrence. She likes gaping.
What in the world are you talking
Oh, I'm sorry. I
about?
have her nudes from back in the day.
Oh, I'm the creepy uncle.
Well, I immediately take that back.
I lost the title.
You
I lost the title.
Goddamn, you had one title defense and you failed.
I am happy to lose it. I pretty much Pulp Fiction in the opposite way. It's like, you take that dive. You, fuck pride. I'm good.
I'm gonna get a text later from my mom. What's gaping?
This is why my mom is not allowed to watch this show.
Oh, man.
Fuck.
You delete those, Jay. You delete those.
I tried to, but the cloud
They were
just
ripped
keep
off. They were ripped
The
off.
cloud
She
just
wasn't
kept putting
willing,
them-
Jay. She wasn't willing.
According to them bitches, is willing.
No.
I'm sorry. Don't
I do not subscribe to this. No.
Hey, Jay, can I get a mic check real quick? Good. Oh, okay, good. Oh, you're good.
Thank you.
All right, good. All right.
See, you're giving black men and white women a bad name right now. Me and RB3 out here just like we just have to retire. Like, just retire forever. You did this.
I was about to put in the sound effects thing out real bad.
Oh, somebody just farted. Oh, wait, Jay talked about the photos.
Oh, Christ.
All right.
Oh, there goes Twitter right now. Okay,
What
cool.
happened? What's up? What they
Nah,
say?
bullshit.
How dare you talk about that? All right, let's see. Let's go to Villanelle, who says, Brett has spoken more than ever so far today, and he seems so happy. I guess put him around more black people? LOL, Brett. Have you seen the Netflix show You? I think you'd love it. Is that the one that with the
great.
creepy
Yeah,
guy?
the stalker guy.
And
It's
it's
like Dexter.
based, and they do it out of LA for this season or something like that.
Because it wasn't originally, right? It was
No,
they
somewhere
picked
else.
It up. Yeah.
No, well, yeah, no, fuck. Man.
I haven't, but I have.
I
We
auditioned
just started
for that.
Living with Yourself.
It's
The
great.
Paul Rudd movie.
Yourself is great.
Is it
Oh,
good?
okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
like-
cloning thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Living with
Yeah,
Yourself
no,
is great.
All right, now this is...
He's not a racist, is he?
No, I don't think
Okay.
so. Sean Kotaya.
He
Ben,
also likes black people.
yes,
he does.
Ben, what do you mean we won't get the Ducky reference? I love the Breakfast Club. And nah, I'm just kidding. I know it's pretty epic, of course. Seriously, though, great episode, guys. I've been laughing my ass off. Good, I'm happy to hear that. Hotel Nerd, what is the worst of 2019, Cats or Dark Phoenix?
See, that is bogus. That is.
But it's such a... But
Dark Phoenix isn't that bad.
You could kiss my ass.
It's not that bad.
Pretty bad.
it's not good.
It's not good. So check this out. So I went.
Hey, man, that's
we were
my
all
Rogue
at
One.
that. I don't know if you went to that one. We all went at the press screening in Century City when the alarm went off.
Yes.
At-
No. Was I there? Yes.
the alarm went
I left
off.
early.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
So
At the end, I
but we
still
got
don't know
to
how the
see
stupid
it.
thing is.
We still saw it. So the next
right.
day, remember, Fox hit us all up. Was like, yo, we can see
Premiere,
it again. Right. So I told Winston, I said, hey, don't you want to come see Dark Phoenix? I sat the entire movie just looking at his face because
you farted in the car and didn't tell him about it.
like I just
That's exactly what he did.
just looked like
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Cats is what nightmares are made out of.
Right. Cats are supposed to be bad.
The musical
what?
is terrible.
You know what? I'll put it to you this way. Cats is worse, and the reason why is I at least gave Dark Phoenix a chance. I refuse to give Cats a chance based on...
Let me go back. Let me go back in time here. Let me go back in time. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, 15, 20 minutes ago, we heard that a movie written by Tony Gilroy, Rogue One, was a bad movie. But Dark Phoenix,
It was
not
a
that
good
bad.
one. Yeah, Dark Phoenix is
I did not say good. You son of a bitch.
No, you're right.
You will not put those words in my fucking
You
mouth.
did say
Not
that.
that
You were
bad.
like,
Thank
you
you
were
for that.
shitting
Thank you.
on Rogue One, but you were like, Dark Phoenix, not a bad movie. Your takes are just never
No.
garbage.
I get 500 followers. I don't. Are they all just like sewer dwellers? Like, what's going on?
Are they what? Sewer dwellers?
Are they all bagel thieves themselves? Like,
Absolutely. I built a cult over here. I've been
Jesus.
following. No, but what I'm saying is like Dark Phoenix was like edged up to be this epically terrible movie, and it was
was.
just bad. Like it wasn't like I haven't seen Cats yet, but like I just
Bro.
looked at the movies. Like, do you guys see Polar, the Netflix movie, or like the Lion King was terrible.
What the fuck is your problem? It was not.
You like the new Lion King?
Hey, bro, I had an
Why?
issue with the Lion King.
Watch the old one.
Bro,
They
the old
sang
one-
"Can You Feel the Love Tonight" in the daytime.
In the daytime.
In the-
How did you make a movie
Also,
is your
half an hour
problem.
longer?
No, that is one of my
How'd you make a
issues.
movie half an hour longer when it's the same shot for shot?
Also-
Can you feel the love in the daytime?
Also,
it doesn't work.
you did not need to drag James Earl Jones out his bed because he just sounded powerful.
Couple
Well,
things.
that was my problem with Rogue One. Don't choke on your. I'm gonna take a nap.
Look, man. I'm just gonna say this.
Jay, my man, my home skillet biscuit.
That's what I was gonna say.
Let me ask you. Ready? Where the white women it? Because RB3 needs to know. That's the real reason he's at the eye doctor.
That's the running joke. If you don't know, they always ask him every day.
He always asks RB3 where the white women at.
Okay, so from what I've learned, they are at dodgeball with Winston.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
This is very true.
You're not looking at their photos, are you?
They're updating their cloud password because of you.
I earned this.
You guys can shit on me for not liking Rogue One all you want. He can have the rest.
I have to leave because I want to keep playing dodgeball. So thank you, Mr. Harlow, for your time. I appreciate it.
Nice to see you.
Brett, it was an honor.
You still have the number 8 pick. Sit down, will you?
Dodgeball at your local artisan cafe.
Oh, so good.
Anywhere that sells IPA beers and
No. Truly and White Claw. That's
anywhere you can get White Claw. So listen, in a Rouse aisle, you will see a congregation of like.
Is that one of the players?
Bro,
White Claw?
bro, all you have to do.
It's a drink, but it also goes with the player. The player plays the fucking dodgeball, but we claw because her hair looks like a fucking claw. And she's white.
Yo, all you have to do to find a white woman, you do like them old school traps where you had the stick above a box. You put a White Claw, a pair of Uggs, and a copy of Booksmart. You put that all under a box.
And a Lizzo CD. And a Lizzo CD.
No, not a CD. Just a Truth Hurts single.
Just Truth Hurts. Truth Hurts, and you will catch all white women. Like they'll just come flock. They'll be like, I smell a Lizzo. Like
then they walk in. I am 100% that bitch.
Why me and Great Tilly got to be great? Like,
yeah, we put that song on, by the way. I don't know which one it is, but what's the really? She got like 2 really
good as hell.
Yeah.
Good as hell.
Which is the first one she sang on Saturday Night Live?
That was Truth Hurts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were listening because my wife loves the song. We're listening.
Of course, your wife's a white woman.
She is, but she can dance. And there were two. My 2 kids are in the back, right? And so she gets the explicit version though too.
Yeah.
And I look in the back and bitch and all this stuff. But I look in the back and the 2-year-old's like. Moving around, it was great.
I don't like. That's the thing. I don't have a problem with the song, but just like most songs that become that, it's just been overplayed like a motherfucker. And everybody sings it down the street, and I'm just
Old Town Road became that.
Yeah.
Old Town Road was
It's
that.
all about the bass.
all about the bass. Tired of that.
It's a whole bunch of songs. It's like you like them.
That's what happens.
But I mean, it happens. It's
every
What,
popular
Hotline
song.
Bling? I hated that shit by the time it was
All right,
over.
let's move over from the Hotline Bling and let's go to.
We're gonna do our top 10 overplayed.
Yeah, we're gonna get to some more of these top 10s in just a second here. We're gonna go with Winston next.
Okay.
But before we do that, I want to get to. What a jackass. I think I know who that is. And he put, if it is Ben, then he put in a SCHMOEBOT. EY Geekness. How will the new drafted teams affect the storylines in the Schmoedown? Won't affect them at all, to be honest. Oh, actually, I shouldn't say that. They will, but they could think about it. Like, maybe there's going to be some feuds within the factions. Maybe there's going to be other things that happen between the coaches. Maybe there'll be some other ideas. The big question, how will Grace and Emma get along? How will Jay and Winston get along?
We won't. Let me tell you something. Black on black crime is a thing.
Yeah, but also the other thing is, as you say, because even though Jay, you know that the game has evolved with players, you and these other managers have evolved in the way that you guys manage the game and the way that you manage on the sideline. You're very active on those sidelines, making sure that your players are challenging or watching through or getting in the heads of other opponents.
Or having you yell at me, tell me something. You just can't run out here on camera.
Yeah, well, there's going to be a lot of different rules next year. But so the storylines will affect it, and it's also on me as a creator to say, okay, look, that particular person is doing that, and now we can make that thing work there. It depends on wins and losses, so it'll actually, I think, benefit it a lot. Jay Boogie, I'm in agreement with the Rogue One take. The first half of the movie was largely unnecessary. They could have started the movie with the group already assembled and ready to begin the raid. I do not understand why people like that movie besides the last something else got cut off. P.S. I just saw Ben Goddard's dance. I changed my entire take.
That's fair.
He didn't say that, but he should have.
I love how Kristian fully see. This is why you wear your glasses, because you see how you saw that with your peripherals. You were out here reading. You're like, oh, this motherfucker. Just okay, cool.
All right,
It looks like my 2-year-old dancing in the back.
Hey man, your 2-year-old can dance. You showed me the video. That was cute when she was singing the Frozen.
Oh yeah.
She's got some moves.
She fires it down. She definitely can dance. So I like how you said your 2-year-old can dance, but I'm not him.
Not this son of a bitch.
Davlin Gain. Afternoon, gentlemen. Adam from Hyper would be a great guest. Of course you would. I love Adam. Cam would be great in the Schmoedown. He's in the draft. His movie knowledge is insane. Cam is definitely in the draft. Also, Jay should hear Ben's theme song. Oh, yeah. Enjoy the new year. All right, so I'm going to show you the theme song that...
I think it's still on the board.
Yeah, Matt, give me Matt's last name.
Reed.
Matt Reed, thank you. So Matt Reed. So here's the story. So I don't know, it's 2-3 weeks ago. He goes to this bagel store, nice mom and pop shop that relies on every penny that they make to keep themselves alive.
Wow,
right?
We don't have any violins on the board, but let me
Okay,
choose
so
some
I
up.
know where this story's
So
going.
Ben stole bagels from them
You fucking heathen.
and
He
coffee.
went full Ariana Grande on this mother.
So this is a song that was made for him for stealing bagels.
Well, boys, we hit the jackpot this time.
I'm just watching Winston look at Jay.
Just let him listen to the lyrics.
Hey, ooh, yeah. I don't know. Hey, ooh. I ain't no frame, you ain't freezing my rate. Best believe you can't eat on my plate. Nah, best believe I got thoughts. Bonnie and the smoke bar, they jump on the chin, I'm ballin' like Kate. I'm teaching my son, yeah, but going on dates. I'm taking your money to buy me some chips. I'm stealing your bagel and stealing your bitch. Are you sick in the what? StreamLabs for your questions. Ben in the corner when bodying around, I know he be hiding directions. They got Brett, he is savage, and Kate always wildin', and Kristian the spot on impressions. And if Winston or Bateman or Kristian show up, then that be one hell of a blessing. If we need some pics on the wall, then Brick gets a call. Just kidding, you funny too. But I got your girl on my slong. I can't stay too long. I gotta go watch the crew. Gallery 3 on the cameras. We do not fuck with no amateurs. Y'all better make me a manager. How much fly down from Canada? I ain't no frame, you ain't freezing my rate. Best believe you can't eat on my plate. Nah, best believe I got thoughts.
Bonnie and the smoke
bar. They jump on the chin, I'm ballin' like Kate. I'm teaching my son, yeah, but going on dates. I'm taking your money to buy me some chips. I'm stealing your bagel and stealing your bitch.
He's giving him hugs. There you go. Give him hugs. He's just got roasted. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Somebody. Well, this is a very nice and accurate thing. It says Ben looks out of rhythm. Okay.
It's the frame rate. It's
It's the frame rate.
I used to break dance in high school, so I can dance. I
really?
just don't ride.
So did Vin Diesel.
Time out. Here's the question. How many black people were at your high school?
Moral lesson of Sen 2019 is to never trust a bagel thief's opinion. On a separate subject, anyone here watch anime? If so, what is the best anime of 2019? I say Fire Force. Also had biggest tragedy involved Rip Kyoani Kyoto anime fire victims.
Oh man.
Yeah, I remember that. That was fucking crazy. And you want to talk about, like, it's funny. I'll come back to the best of 2019 for anime, but I really hated the fact that toxic fandom shit or that toxic masculinity shit like can reign all throughout, because I don't know if you heard about that story. It was essentially at one of these anime expos, this guy was really after this cosplaying chick. And
I did see that.
She wasn't interested, and so he went and set her car on fire. He blew it up. So it's like
She wasn't in it.
No, she wasn't in it. Thank God.
But
He
still,
went and found her car and blew it the fuck up because there was I think he got arrested, which is good. And then people started to GoFundMe to get her a new car, so that was also great. But
That's
like,
good.
you want to talk about the bullshit that happens? All
Yeah,
over
I know
the place,
shit.
man.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Shit. Well, to put some more, just to try to lighten it up a little bit. You asked a question right before that SCHMOEBOT came in about his high school.
Yeah, how many black people were at your high school?
I have the answer to that question. You guys are the two first black people he's ever seen.
Probably.
So that breakdancing was terrible. But those were the most exquisite cardboard boxes you've ever seen in your life.
Bro, he used to breakdance the way that Kristian used to rap. My name is Kristian, and I'm here to say I got 2 daughters in a major way.
You just saw him do this shit, right?
We're talking
Winston,
about.
Winston,
I'm not
you
gonna
just
whisper. I won't. I'll shout.
Y'all saw Ben do this shit dancing. Can you imagine his break, his spin? It's just like, oh my God, let me get this leg and put it around.
Yeah, I'm like Dr. Seuss when I rhyme.
What's your favorite anime of 2019?
Who the fuck said you could dictate this?
I just want to know.
I mean,
It's the only two people that watch. So
I mean, honestly, I didn't get as much into my anime this year as I normally do. I would probably say it would either have to be My Hero Academia or JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I just started that and I fucking love it. It's very fun.
My Hero Demon Slayer.
Okay, yeah, I fuck with that.
All right, let's get in. I'll move on to the. First of all, put in more of those Streamlabs questions that I will get to after we finish the list, because I want to make sure we get to all the lists. So, and I haven't even got to Super Chat yet, so I'll get to that in just a second. But put in streamlabs.com/theschmoedown. We will be taking all the questions for the rest of the show, so please start putting them in there now. I'll get back to them. But let's get to first of all, do you want to talk about that other thing that they talked about with at the end with the fire? What was that? I don't know enough about.
He did.
I know he talked about it, but I don't know if it was because
some people in chat are saying like someone burned down the entire Kyoto studio or something.
I forgot about that too. That was also a thing. Sorry, I forgot about that. There was an entire anime studio. I want to. Do they say which one? Because I honestly don't remember, but it was the same thing where someone went and burned up that studio.
That's atrocious.
It's just
it's really bad.
We gotta get out of this year, man. This year sucks.
All right, well let's. There were some good movies this year, so let's get to.
Let's not talk about that. I'm reading it right now. It's
Okay. Let's get to Winston. Winston, 10 movies here. Winston, this is 10 movies. What do you got?
Real quick, I'm gonna do my honorable mentions. We were debating whether or not documentaries should be included, so I decided to pull them out. At the top of those honorable mentions, When They See Us and Surviving R. Kelly. Absolutely incredible. You want to talk
Rachel
about?
Cushing worked on that too.
Yeah, she worked on Surviving R. Kelly. But both of those are must-sees. You definitely need to check those out.
Except if you're from Chicago, because you already do all this shit. You was like, yeah, we told y'all.
A nice reminder, though, honestly. But other honorable mentions, Batman versus the Ninja Turtles, See You Yesterday, Fire Fraud, Jumanji The Next Level, Fighting With My Family, Always Be My Maybe, Spider-Man Far From Home, Us, Rise of Skywalker, and Shazam. And Hustlers. Those are all honorable mentions.
All right, so what comes in at number 10?
Number 10 for me is Jojo Rabbit. I really enjoyed that movie a lot. Taika Waititi is a baller, like both acting, writing, directing. He really does everything. And you found a way to take a serious subject matter and make it like lighthearted, but not so much that you take away from that. So I really appreciated what he did there. Number 9 for me, Ford vs. Ferrari. I love this movie from start to finish. The last 10 minutes for me were a little jarring, that's why it's a little so low on the list. But I think everything that was there, I do think that Christian Bale might have an actual shot at this Oscar, but we'll see. There's a lot of contenders out there, so but definitely watch that. Even if you're not a racing fan, which I normally am not, I love this thing from start to finish. Number 7, Knives Out. Knives Out is the classic whodunit. It's absolutely hilarious. You have all the twists and turns you could ever want. I love the leading lady in this. I don't really recognize her from other stuff, but she's absolutely incredible.
She's from Blade Runner. She's the hologram girlfriend.
Got it.
Oh, okay, I remember that.
Yeah. But it's also nice to see, Daniel Craig obviously will get to that point once he's done with James Bond, but it's nice to see him outside of a James Bond flick on the more regular, and it was wonderful. Number 6, The Farewell. This one was absolutely incredible. Awkwafina has become such a star at this point. Like, you can really see her range by this film, where she still has her kind of sarcastic comments here and there. She was also in Jumanji, to bring up. But it was a really touching thing, and it was something that allowed me to look outside culture about how we deal with death. We're so quick to the premise is essentially this whole family is lying to their grandmother about dying from cancer. They just keep telling her that she's fine. They just happen to be there, but they're all there to essentially say goodbye to her. And so it's just really interesting because that's not how we deal with stuff here. It's very much like, oh, you have XYZ cancer, this is it, and we just all say our goodbyes. So it's a very interesting take. Number 5 for me, is that 5?
Yeah. 5.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Jojo Rabbit, Ford vs. Ferrari, Knives Out, The Farewell.
Okay, so yeah, 5. So maybe I just counted this wrong because I'm stupid. But that's fine. Joker. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then I need to take one off.
Okay.
Yeah, I am kind of.
Well, you probably have to take JoJo out because it's the.
Yeah, knock JoJo down. Okay. That's fine.
So your number 10 is Ford vs. Ferrari. Then 9 is Knives Out. Farewell is 8. 7 is Joker. What's
6, 5, 4, 3, 2. No, I had it right. So I was just my numbering was wrong. 10, 9, 8, 7.
Right.
Joker is 6. Joker is 6.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Dallas Public
All
Education.
right, Joker's so
I went to private school. That's what's even sadder.
Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo 10, Ford Ferrari 9, Knives Out 8, Farewell 7, Joker is 6. I'm surprised. I'm surprised people in the chat didn't go, this motherfucker can't count. And caught it.
Yeah, they did. I just don't want to tell you.
That's
go
fine.
ahead.
Joker at 6. Joaquin Phoenix. To me, it comes down between him and Christian Bale for this Oscar. It really depends on what people's flavor is. You know, I love this movie from start to finish. I was very like, we don't need a Joker origin story, and they proved me wrong. I very much hope that they don't do a sequel personally, because I thought it was just a perfect, just slice of life stuff. I know people feel differently about that, but I thought that Todd Phillips and Joaquin were an incredible duo for this. Number 5, Dolomite Is My Name. Ooh, Eddie Murphy is back, man. For someone that I've known about Dolomite, but I never saw it, and I really didn't know what was going on there.
Yoda, thanks for finally figuring out Amazon wish list. Just want to say I hope you don't expect me to buy the rubber gloves and lube.
Just put your list on there now.
My list. No, I had a list. Somebody asked me for my list, and I tweeted them the link to my list.
Come on, do it after the show.
The camera wasn't on me at the time. I needed it.
And let's mute the. Let's mute this robot.
That's right. So number 5, Dolomite Is My Name. Eddie Murphy being back. I really got a chance to know about Rudy Ray and about Dolomite and how amazing that was. That whole cast was phenomenal. This got me excited for SNL, which he killed it, and now I'm excited for his stand-up special. I'm excited for Coming to America. This let me know, because I was concerned. The last thing I saw of his was what, No Words or 12 or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, 1,000 Words.
1,000 Words.
Oh yeah,
Right.
That was the last thing I saw him in. So I was like, oh, I don't think he's got it anymore. And this proved me completely wrong.
So number 4.
Number 4, Avengers Endgame. Again, 22 films, 11 years. I can't think of a better way to wrap it all up. The perfect blend of like character development, conclusions, fan service. You got everything you could possibly want out of this. I saw it twice in theaters, cried both times. Absolutely love it. Number 3, super underrated, I feel like, but definitely talked about, Booksmart. Booksmart was absolutely phenomenal. To find out on top of it that one of the actresses, Beanie Goldstein is, Jonah Hill's sister. You can see how much talent runs in this family. They both have that just cutting sense of humor. And I also find it funny that they're in similar movies like Superbad and Booksmart about, end of high school, trying to figure your shit out. I absolutely love this movie from top to bottom, and I feel like Olivia Wilde has a long career ahead of her as a director.
So good.
Number 2, John Wick 3 Parabellum.
Hey.
I was never bored of this movie. If anything, the whole time I was like, oh my God. Like, the fact that at the very beginning, he kills a motherfucker with a book. Like, within the first 3 minutes.
Dude with that book.
Like,
the first 20 minutes of this movie is like the best picture of the year. It's so good.
It's absolutely phenomenal from top to bottom. Halle Berry, you want to talk about a comeback. Like, I would watch a spinoff just with her, because she is so good in this movie, and she's only.
You could look at her photo albums. Just get them from Jay.
Yeah.
Oh.
You see what he did there? You see what I did? I brought it back.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you remember when you talked about the gaping nudes?
So you're going to do this during my clip.
I know.
During my clip.
I'm just worried about Jay's top 10. Number 1 is Rihanna.
Oh, God. All right.
Okay.
And number 1 for me is Parasite. It was everything that I would look for in a movie, especially the one thing that I really have been trying to do more of is to know less and less about films, so I can genuinely just go in and just see them. And knowing I just heard this was amazing, and that it's like kind of a thriller, but I don't know what's really going on. And for it to start as essentially what feels like just a comedy kind of heist-esque movie, and to just take a sharp left turn that we can never come back from, this movie, I absolutely loved it. I think, like you said, you got I know you feel a little differently because you got so much hype from it.
I think it's a great movie, but yeah.
But for me, since I went in pretty cold, I blew me away. So that's my top.
There you go.
My top 10.
Nice. Good list. I mean, there's a lot inside of Jojo Rabbit, Ford vs. Ferrari, Knives Out, The Farewell, Joker, Dolomite Is My Name, Avengers, Booksmart, John Wick 3, Parasite. A lot of movies. There's some different ones, some similar than Ben's, but there's some good ones on there. Some similar ones that I have on there. I will get to it in a second. Very curious to what Jay's is going to be though.
Last thing I'll say, just because honestly, there's so much content and there's stuff I'm catching up with that came out late. Like I still haven't seen The Irishman. I still haven't seen Marriage Story. So there's enough number of movies.
You didn't see 1917.
I haven't seen 1917. Haven't seen Little Women. So I'm just throwing that out there.
All right. So before we get to Jay's, just want to see if there's any more Streamlabs because I haven't got the super chat yet. So I want to make sure that we do that. And I want to make sure that we have everything covered over here at StreamLabs.com. This is we did get that, did we? Okay. Sorry. This is Jackson Barber. Perhaps for tomorrow, top 10 worst films of 2019. That was going to be the plan. My hot take, Shazam. I like how DC was counter-programming to Marvel with this darker tone, and I was unsatisfied with Shazam. Interesting. No, I really like Shazam. It's not my top 10, but I like the movie. I wouldn't put it in my top 10 worst.
Did you watch Shazam when the demons face ate all those people?
When they murdered everybody in the office?
Yeah, in the boardroom? That was crazy.
That was dark as fuck.
Yeah, like you had parents like protesting the movie because it's a superhero movie and there's like demons eating people. Like
a kid's superhero movie.
Yeah, it's super dark.
Raven, have you guys checked out Don't Fuck with Cats on Netflix? That blew
I
my
just
mind.
watched it.
Are there any docs you guys have seen that blew your mind? Tell me about this.
Yo, first of all, this lets you know how much time people on the internet have.
Yeah.
So what happened was there's a dude who makes a video of him killing kittens. He puts him in a vacuum bag and seals it up with him.
Jesus.
They don't show you the video, but they show you the setup to it. And these two people, they start a Facebook group to try to catch dude. In the process, dude keeps dropping more cat killing videos.
Yeah.
And they end up telling police, like in Canada, in Toronto, like, yo, listen, he's gonna kill somebody. He's setting up to kill somebody.
Right.
Long story short, dude does kill somebody.
Oh my God.
And puts it on the internet. Like, all this is about, like, literally trying to find a cat killer.
Right.
Dude becomes a regular killer. They eventually caught him, but the reason he was doing it was because he wanted fame. He wanted fame and notoriety. Right. It's the craziest shit, but also I'm like, yo, y'all can't find Biggie and Tupac's killer, but you can find a dude who fucked up a cat? Like, can we?
I mean, yes, because they left an evidence trail on the internet and people were actively searching for him.
Yeah.
Listen, we need to find who shot Tupac if he still ain't alive in Cuba.
I mean, they found out who's the guy that died in L.A., the rapper, really famous.
Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah, they found him in like a day.
They found Nipsey Hussle's killer in a day.
But that's the other thing. Like, one, there's a conspiracy theories, but two, those were the 90s. You didn't literally have as much evidence. There were cameras everywhere, people on social media. It's fine.
Let me have that. Yeah. But yeah, it's a crazy documentary.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It's crazy when you watch because you're like, wait. Netflix is good.
I thought we were gonna get like a
cat
killed
him.
Or don't mess with cats. It's like cute, like Bob Saget pops up.
That's what you think.
Yeah, no.
And it starts out talking like before it gets into like the the interviews and shit. It shows you all little cute cat videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then it tells you because the lady she's talking, she's like,
you can put the SCHMOEBOT back on.
She was like, there's one unwritten rule: don't fuck with cats. And then it starts, and you like, whoa,
that is messed up.
That is pretty messed up. But all right, so SCHMOEBOT is back on, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna, as we get through the rest of these questions, then we're gonna get to Jay's list, and we'll close out with mine. Silly buffoon. Hey, crew, I just caught up on this year's exhibition matches, and I have to say, Jay, you were straight fire in that MCU match. Also, Harlow, how surprised were you with the perfect game that Sean Gerber pitched? Can't wait for the What If series on SCHMOEBOT. Have a great new year. I was Gerber was pretty confident that he would be good. I didn't know how good he was going to be, but you know who was pissed off that he wasn't in it? Was your boy Zip.
Yeah,
because Zipper
MCU.
He called the match.
I know.
Because Gerber was like, if Zipper was in there, I would have had some competition though too.
I'm sad I wasn't in it too. That's like that's the one thing that I was saying about Inner Geekdom. MCU is the shit I know because I've watched those movies upside down, backwards, and forwards.
I was mad. I blanked on Stanley Tucci for Captain America because it was like, I know who it is.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I know who it is. I just can't remember.
Welcome to the show, Mad Titan, and the wonderful world of the SCHMOEBOT.
Thank you.
You said it right.
Gumby's wife, ya black bastards. So much to talk about.
That's funny.
Winston, how about them Cowboys? Ooh. NY Giants fire Shermer. Ben, love that dance and that hat. Looks good on you though. Eye roll.
Looks good on you though. It's from
Caddyshack.
Yeah. You know Caddyshack? You've seen that movie?
You get a bowl of soup with this hat?
Oh, look at you.
Wow.
Hey.
Look at her.
Well, see, that's why I didn't watch Top Gun yet this weekend because I watched The Goonies for the first time this weekend.
Oh, and?
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
It's hard. That one's hard if you're not an 80s kid.
Yeah.
No,
if you're not an 80s
I
kid,
just
you
watched
see it.
So here's the thing.
Just watched Monster Squad. That's how I felt. I was like, it's okay.
I love
but like,
Monster
if I didn't grow
Do
up
you know
with
who
it,
you know who wrote Monster Squad?
Shane Black.
That's right.
Well, and so that was the thing that became a weird argument between me and my girlfriend this weekend is because she hated A New Hope and thought there was no story. And I was like, The Goonies was fine. And then I think we both realized this might have been one of those you had to be there type things to whatever.
New Hope's got a story.
I mean, I know. And I'm not gonna start because she might be listening, and I don't want to restart a fight or anything like that. But that was
gonna happen.
Stop. But it was one of the
fight.
But it was
Get over here.
But it was one of those things where like the Goonies, it was a fun movie, but it definitely was like I needed to be there type moment because we were also watching Home Alone, and she's like, "How are Harry and Marv not dead?" Like, they're clearly dead.
I tweeted, because I started tweeting about that because I was watching it on Disney Plus. Like, Kevin McAllister is a psychopath.
Did you see? So, I always bring the chat room tells me every time I bring it up their name, and I always mess it up. So
the one where he killed, it shows him killing.
But it shows, but they did the graphics.
Yeah, with the head exploding.
He
when he steps on his nail. And
somebody sent it to the both of us.
It's disgusting. The Corridor Crew is the name of the
yeah, because somebody sent it to the both of us, and we both watched it. I saw Winston's reply was just Jesus.
All right, I want to be able to get through these things. Here, let's see. So we have, excuse me. Now we have Big B. Rogue One has Donnie Yen beating the fuck out of stormtroopers with a bow staff. It's the best war film in the Star Wars
and
series.
then he doesn't do anything.
Best looking Star Wars film. So some of the best action in the Star Wars series. Come on, Ben. And act.
Okay. He does that one thing, shoots a TIE fighter with his bow staff, and then does nothing for the rest of the film. I am a Donnie Yen fan. Ip Man series is amazing. Blade 2, he's kind of wasted, but he's still good. He does nothing besides beat up 5 stormtroopers, which, what's-her-face did 2 seconds before with a SWAT team baton. Like, it wasn't that special.
God,
I have a reason. I have a reason why it should be special to you.
What's that?
Forrest Whitaker's eye.
Well, that's every movie.
Like his eye fit in the Star Wars world.
Right.
Like it just got it. Like one time, right?
I can make it to this transport, but I'm going to die needlessly, even though I can be very helpful to the rebellion.
You let
Goodbye.
Saul go here.
Well, Luke shouldn't have died.
You like Dark Phoenix? Shut the fuck up.
I didn't say I like Dark Phoenix.
He said it wasn't that bad. All right, let's go. So we will now move on over here. Let's move on over to Hotel Nerd. Biggest disappointment of 2019 for me was Star Wars, and I hate saying that as a Star Wars fan. Biggest lived to the hype for me was Endgame. Fair assessment.
I was gonna say that like there's so many franchises that end like Game of Thrones, Avengers, and Star Wars. I feel like only one really landed the ship correctly.
Which was Avengers,
Overall,
Avengers.
I mean, with the majority, it seems.
Yeah, some people like Season 8, and some people like Rise of Skywalker. It's fine.
I saw Rise of Skywalker again with my daughter yesterday, and I realized exactly why I have the stance that I have right now. I really enjoyed watching it with her. It reminded me of why Star Wars was a thing, like the way that it used to be. The excitement in her eyes. She's 8 years old, so when certain moments happen, she didn't give a shit about whether or not it contradicted The Last Jedi. She didn't care if certain things made sense. She just wanted to watch a Star Wars movie, and she had so much joy on her face that I wound up having so much joy with her, and that's why that's how I'm going to continue to watch Star Wars
that
now.
Makes sense.
I'm not going to do it the way that I used to. I'm not going to talk about Star Wars anymore. I'm just going to enjoy it with my kid, and that's what I did. It was a lot of fun.
My uncle died yesterday, and it's been difficult.
I'm sorry.
Thanks for keeping me entertained every day.
That's horrible. I'm sorry, Colin.
You guys make me look like a madman when I'm walking around my college campus. Feliz Nuevo Año, gracias por todo y siempre viva el schlong.
Well, we're sorry for your loss, Colin. We're glad you can make you laugh, man. That's what we're here to do. We're here to make you laugh, and Ben's here to steal your wallet. So let's get to some more questions here.
Oh, the other thing I was going to say, you wanted to say Dark Phoenix was not a good movie. How about the fact that Jennifer Lawrence delivered this line? You should call us the X-Women because that's what's doing all the work right now.
No. Let's do this. Jennifer Lawrence was so out of the X-Men franchise, she only had one coat of paint on. Like she had to do that one quick layer and was like, done. She was done. She was like, look, put the dots on. That's it.
Yeah. She might as well just put on one of those masks you get at CVS.
Yeah, she might as well. She literally just like rub it on.
Go to Target and get a mask of herself.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next one here.
I'm just scared now.
JJ says, "Hey Kristian, random question. Why did you guys stop using Kristian Rubalcaba's nickname? I noticed this even before he left the last job. He had the nickname Copster for when he played baseball." He's 27 years old or whatever he is, or 26, and he said, I don't want to have a nickname anymore. I want to go by my normal name, and he asked people to call him by his actual name, and people respected it. That was it. No major story behind it, and that wasn't one that I didn't. It wasn't like Wild Man or anything too. I didn't come up with that. Copster was what he had when he was a kid. He just wanted to get away from it. So as friends, we respected it. Sean Kataria. Ben makes me wonder how one guy can have so many terrible takes. What's next? Catwoman's better than The Dark Knight. Battlefield Earth is an underrated classic. Jaws needed more shark.
Yeah. Let's compare Rogue One to Jaws and The Dark Knight.
Oh, so good. Hey, I don't think he's saying that. I think it's your resume that he has a problem with.
Rogue One's bad. I'm gonna die. I will die.
You die on that hill?
I will die on that hill.
That's fine.
It's funny, they were slamming you for that before we found out about the bagel thing. Now they just have like
Right?
No,
That's
yeah.
just full circle.
Yeah, that's it.
I see what you did there. Because bagels are circles.
Oh.
Got it.
You see what I did there? A bagel.
I'm going to do your thing.
It's a circle. Okay?
Sean Kataya did that one. Anthony Nugent put in the SCHMOEBOT. Wiley Todd, please tell me why Halle Berry's role in John Wick 3. It makes no sense, and it's just an asshole-ish to be an asshole. Is there something I'm missing? I think she's the worst part of the movie. Well, I disagree with you pretty heavily. I thought she was going to be the worst part of the movie. She actually really worked for me. I thought she was awesome in that role.
She was incredible.
Yeah,
And her dogs.
Yeah.
Her dogs stole the show.
The dogs were.
That was the point of it. That was the point of it.
I think the point was exactly that they were friends and they had some sort of relation before that he clearly
Winston
fucked
and
up.
Ben, this is for you. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory.
Can I turn this down?
No.
Fly, Eagles, fly, score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit them high, hit them low, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Thanks,
that's
just
guys
a troll.
for being good sports about all this, and Happy New Year.
I cannot
New Year, too.
wait for the Seahawks to show you who is the better bird of prey. Goddammit,
He
y'all
just
are
gave
screwed.
he just gave you such a nice thing.
And I'm gonna follow it up with and also Happy New Year to
Happy
you
New
as
Year.
well. But I'm dead serious. The Seahawks are
be with you.
Everybody
New
know
Year
the
to
Seahawks
him,
finna
fuck
destroy
the
the
Eagles.
Seahawks.
I mean, the Seahawks are so mad after that game last night
That they shouldn't have
Well,
lost.
not like the Patriots though.
Well,
I mean, we didn't even talk about the Patriots.
I mean, look, ain't nobody told they asked to lose to the Dolphins twice.
Also,
in a year.
people feel like they gonna get eliminated first round. Can you
Not gonna
imagine what would happen if Tom
Who are
Brady?
they playing? The Titans. No,
No, they're not going out first. Never mind.
Nah,
they're good.
I think it's gonna be. This is gonna be one of those stupid things that it's gonna be part of the story at the end of the season. It's like, look what they did. They lost to the Dolphins, and they still. Brady does it again, and then I'm just gonna go. This is why I
No,
don't watch
because
the
he's not
playoffs.
getting past Lamar Jackson.
All right, we'll see. Melody, my top 10, if you guys don't mind, from 10 to 1. Jojo Rabbit, The Lighthouse, Knives Out, Marriage Story, The Last Black Man in San Francisco, Greener Grass, Lucy, The Farewell, Midsummer, and Parasite. Good list. Liking that list. Haskell 420 put in a SCHMOEBOT. Joe the Giant, as a lifelong Detroit Lions fan, it's funny watching these teams fire their coaches for missing the last few playoffs, or fans saying their season's over because they didn't get to a playoff bye. Nothing of pain. Yeah, I mean that's usually that's how it goes, though, man. A lot of times with these seasons, for sure. Colin Martinez put in a SCHMOEBOT. Michael Dingus, happy holidays. What do you guys think about Dave Filoni's tweet about his drawing of Gandalf telling Ahsoka that people thought he was dead too, and with the explanation of Knights of Ren in comics? Do you think all the tie-ins and payoffs will be in comic books? No, I think there's gonna be a lot more payoffs in the Mandalorian. Also, because we already found out.
Kristian, you should give Ben a show called Bagels and Hot Takes.
I like that.
He already started on his channel.
Yeah.
What you can hear is 11 through 20 list.
The truth. Yeah. Look, as far as I think the Mandalorian, they announced in Deadline or whatever it was that you're going to see more original characters from the OT that are going to show up. Now, whether that means you're going to see de-aging, or whether that means you're going to see someone else play Luke or Leia, or whether that means you're just going to see holograms, whatever it means it's going to tie into the actual lore of it. This other stuff, Ahsoka stuff, I think Ahsoka will wind up showing up in The Mandalorian.
Everybody was hoping she would show up in Rise of Skywalker, though.
Again,
They did the voice. Yeah, they did the voice, but everybody was like, is this the big surprise that JJ is going to give everybody?
There's too much in that conversation alone of just like, people don't understand that when Mandalorian was going through the script for Rise of Skywalker, they had nothing to do with each other at all. But and when it came to conversations about how we tie it in, that never came in.
The only thing that they had to have a discussion about was the Force healing. That's why Mandalorian dropped
about that, yeah.
Because that's why the Mandalorian dropped early.
Let's play this together.
Yeah.
And I think there'll be some kind of tie-ins to make the Rise of Skywalker make sense. All right. So let's now say. Let me see. Figure it out. Sorry, guys. I want to just do Hamstrack says.
Kristian, I heard you find it sexy for someone to sing as they pleasure themselves.
This is R. Kelly, by the way.
Thought of you. Unfortunately, I cannot currently get my hands on Inner, but I still have
Okay.
access to my schlong during the evenings.
Oh, thank you
Are
so
you
much.
okay with being hog-tied?
Not anymore. Not anymore. College.
that last
that was
incident.
it. That was it. Yeah, college was enough. Hamstrack. Lucy Kubrick meets Fulci. Iceman, prehistoric revenge on the level of the Revenant. Groupers. Home was connected to, what is this? Hilarity ensues. Dragged across concrete. Enough said. I'll say the Mustang. A prison story with horses. And I don't understand this whole thing. I don't know if yeah.
Well, Dragged Across Concrete is a film by Craig S. Zoller, who did like Bone Tomahawk and a few other good movies, but it wasn't great.
Okay. Hotel Nerd, who put in a SCHMOEBOT, and What a Jackass. Knives Out spinoff announced called Balls Out. It's pain. It's Pain Olympics porn parody tie-in. That's really pretty funny. All right, let's get to Jay Washington. Jay's got a list here, the top 10 list of the year. Jay, you saw a bunch of movies this year.
I saw, but I didn't see as many as you all did. So I didn't see like the Jojo Rabbits
That's
and
cool.
things like that.
What do you got?
Schedules got super busy this year. Here are my honorable mentions.
Okay.
Spider-Man Far From Home and Toy Story 4.
Okay.
If for nothing else with Toy Story 4, Keanu Reeves as
he's
Duke
great.
Kaboom.
Yeah.
He stole the show in that movie for me.
Key and Peele for me.
Key and Peele, oh my God, as
God.
Chicky and the Rabbit, oh my God,
Their
three
plan, like just like
Dude,
creeping
the
up.
murdering, the
Dude,
oh
the
my
carnival-
19 is about to end. I wanna a shout out for these animated films like Toy Story 4 and How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World.
Those are good ones. Right, we thank you for that, by the way. We're going to shut the SCHMOEBOT off
SCHMOEBOT
while we have Jay's list. Jay, all right,
All right,
Jay,
so those are my
honorable mentions. What do you,
number 10, Brightburn.
Oh, okay.
I love the take of what if Superman was inherently evil.
Right.
And he's like basically alien. And then how Brandon Breyer, he realizes the barn is calling him and he starts freaking out. And Elizabeth Banks as the mama is like the perfect example of a mama like, my baby's not bad.
Right.
My baby's not bad. Even though he is murdering people left and right. My number 9, Midsommar. Somar.
Good.
I didn't know what to expect, but when I saw it, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this is a thing. Because I got why so many people were talking about it.
I haven't seen it, so don't spoil it.
It's one of those movies that'll just wrap you up and bring you into it. Number 8 for me, I was talking to Winston about this a little earlier, Good Boys.
Wow, it's a good one. It's fun.
Good Boys was so funny. Like, you knew they were going to have kids swearing, and that was one of the things. But it wasn't just that. It was what they had them do, which you would actually see preteens and teenagers do coming of age, not understanding certain things, not knowing what certain things are. The sex doll scene when they sell it to the dude who was supposed to buy the card from them.
Oh, my God.
And he was like, yo, I'd have paid y'all $1,000 for that.
It's a funny movie.
It's a very funny movie. Number 7 for me, John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. We finally got to see the pencil death payoff because we kept hearing about it. Halle Berry is amazing. And then Mark Dacascos is my MVP of that whole movie as Zero because he is a badass assassin. He is so hilarious. He's so funny because when he sits down in the Continental with John Wick, he's like, okay, listen, so I am such a fan of yours.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, what? So I love that. And again, to watch Keanu be so cold with it, even when he loses a finger.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying, the show he was giving up to get back in the graces of the high table. So that was that. Number 6, Joker. I'm with you, Winston. I literally said we don't need a Joker origin story. I still feel like we didn't need it, but what we got was great. The story was, it didn't make you sympathetic for him because that was the big concern I had. That they were going to show you the Joker as a dude who's down on his luck, who's beaten up by society, and you're going to feel sympathetic for him. And I was like, that's the last thing I want to feel about the Joker. And to watch how crazy he was, and then all the events that we thought were real were just in his head, then you realize how much he's murdering everybody, how crazy he's been since the beginning. I rocked with that super, super heavy. Okay, number 5. This is going to be weird. Shazam. Shazam.
That's good.
The boardroom scene holds key to me, but also I did not expect Zachary Levi to pull this off.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I did not expect him. When they announced Zachary Levi was going to be Shazam, I was like, how many steroids are you going to give him? That's the only way you're going to pull that off. Because Zachary Levi, we've been around Zach. He's not a big dude. And you knew the suit was going to be...
Have you seen Kumail?
Kumail is a whole different monster.
Yeah,
like,
God.
Kumail Nanjiani is like, okay, this is what money goals are.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
he said as much.
He said it. Yeah, he let you know. It's like, yeah, this is what happens when you have the best trainers, best nutritionists, and the biggest studio in the world pay for it. But also, Asher Angel as Billy Batson really made you feel for him. He really made you feel for him. And Jack Dylan Grazer as Freddie Freeman, he kept you laughing, and everything worked. Like, granted, the biggest thing about the movie was spoiled because of Funko, with the toys of them being their older selves.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
That was the one. It got spoiled quickly. Like, the announcements that they had cast the actors had come out, but nobody was like, are they going to play the grown versions? Everybody just brushed it off. But then Funko dropped the toys, and then people knew. But
That's your 5.
Right.
All right.
That's my number 5.
What's 4?
Fighting with My Family.
Okay.
Great movie.
Great movie. Florence Pugh was amazing. And to what I've heard the story of Paige so many times as being a wrestler and heard what she's gone through, and especially coming from this family, being this young girl who literally had to try out with her brother, thinking that both of them were going to get WWE developmental deals, and to have her brother lose out and almost resent her for a very long time. And then to watch what talent goes through at the Performance Center. The training they have to go through. Having friends who currently work down at the PC who are assigned to the company, you know that. And you know these are some of the goals, myself included, as a wrestler you have. How bad do you want that? But also, you realize a lot of people that go to the Performance Center aren't wrestlers. They're cheerleaders, they're actors, they're regular athletes. They were never pro wrestlers. Like, Paige was a wrestler. So Fighting With My Family is my number 4. Number 3, Avengers Endgame. Everybody's pretty much said it when it comes to this movie. The culmination of 22 films, 11 years, me as a Thanos fan to watch Thanos realize, like, oh, I actually won. He basically was saying, I don't care if you kill me. I win. I do what I needed to do. But Robert Downey Jr.'s we got payoffs since the first Avengers movie. When Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans were like arguing, and Chris Evans told him, you're not the dude to lay down on the wire. And then Robert Downey Jr. told Chris Evans, everything special out of you came out of a bottle. We got the payoff on both of those. So that had so much emotion. You cried so much, especially the Black Widow Hawkeye scene, because you literally didn't know what was going to happen. And so that got me for that. My number 2, so many people talked about this, and I don't get it, but they talked about it down, Us. A lot of people felt like it wasn't a perfect follow-up to Get Out. I think it was, because I knew it wasn't Get Out. I knew it was something completely different. I went into watching Us, was like, okay, let's see what this story is. Okay, I hear about these jumpsuits. And then the ultimate twist that you get at the end of the film, where you're like, oh, damn, this makes you put everything else into perspective.
No, he's not going to spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil it.
No, the Joker was kind of spoiled, but
Oh man, did you know he kills a lot of people?
oh shit,
It's not that point. You said something else, but it's fine.
it's all right.
That's up for interpretation.
It
It's
is.
my bad for not watching things.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So you had that, and then to see the final tracking shot, which you think at the end is just a regular shot of the woods, and it's just about to end, and you see everything. You're like, oh,
Right.
that happened. They made that happen.
So number 1.
My number 1 movie of the year is Dolomite Is My Name.
Yeah.
Not only is Eddie Murphy back, he tells the amazing story of Rudy Ray Moore, which I had the pleasure of watching all the films with my mom and my uncle, sneaking watching them growing up, to know Rudy Ray Moore's story, to hear about it. But also, as a stand-up comedian, as somebody in entertainment, this movie is the perfect lesson to bet on yourself when nobody else will bet on you. And he did that. He kept getting told no so many times until the radio DJ played by Chris Rock was like, yo, why don't you just hit my
Snoop.
cousin? Huh?
Snoop, right?
No,
There's 2 radio DJs.
It's two-
Oh,
it's
the
two-
other one. Right,
it's
right,
two.
second, right,
Chris
right,
Rock
right,
tells
right,
him
right,
about
right,
going
right.
into the
Yes,
theater
yes.
to put his stuff in the theater.
Right.
And when he does that, that's what makes other companies want to come to him. He
Right.
bet on himself consistently. He was told no about being a headliner. He was told no about his music career. He was initially told no about his acting career. And then to see how it all came to be. And the best part they did in that movie was to make sure, so you didn't believe that this was all bullshit, put actual scenes of Dolomite in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
So you could see how bad he was trying to fight. So you could see the sex scene in the bed. So you could see all this happening. But again, as an entertainer, I've watched this movie probably 8 times, because no matter how down, when I get down on myself, I'm like, look, you can bet on yourself no matter what. And this movie consistently shows you that. You don't have to be in entertainment. You could be aspiring to be a doctor, a lawyer, police officer, firefighter, a whole list of things.
Just believe in yourself.
Just believe in yourself, and you can make it happen. So those are my
great list.
Top 10. Thank
good
you
list.
so
Really
much.
good list.
I've realized I've seen more films though too.
Yeah.
I've seen Endgame and I've saw John Wick. So.
Yeah, so there you go. So you put them in there.
Well, now we got 4.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm very old.
So your top 4. So this is over a super chat. Matthias Polacco said, "Hey Kristian, thanks a lot for your advice and retweet today about my Star Wars Red 5 trailer. I'm really glad you liked it." Oh, so by the way, it's the same guy who did the VHS things for Collider Live back in the day, and he did a mixture of the Top Gun meets Star Wars, but he puts like the Top Gun music and some of the dialogue from the Top Gun 2 trailer, and it's great. I had retweeted it and posted it over on my channel, so please go. Excuse me, on my Twitter, so go and check that out. So Jonathan Caro says, regardless of which movies are on your list, 2019 has been a fantastic year for cinema. Hope to get a birthday shout out from y'all. Happy birthday, Jonathan!
Happy birthday,
birthday.
Drink Juice Shelb. Since we are on the theme of the N word, I'm not saying it. What movie had the best use of the word in this decade? Jay, Winston?
It's a toss-up. I would have to say Django.
Yeah.
I say Django, but then I would go Hateful Eight, but at the same time, it's a lot of times it's used in the Hateful Eight when it just shouldn't even be used. But I would say Django because it was the reason being it was perfectly fit for the time it was set. It was a movie about slavery, and no matter how, it was a spaghetti western about slavery. And like the Civil War had not even ended yet, hadn't even happened, I don't think. And so, you know, when Spike Lee got mad at it, was like, "Yo, Quentin, why you got all these uses of word? Like, it's about slavery."
Then I'll counter with Black Klansman.
Yes,
I agree with you. It's about the time frame. Like literally people were just because they're obsessed with Adam Driver. They were reposting the part where he likes to prove to the Klan. He's like, "Get out of here!" La, 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 la. Like, and throughout the movie where that was used, it's the same thing. I feel like it really fit the timepiece and really fit what they were trying to get at.
So you have Django, you have Black Klansman. I have this show the first half an hour.
I have a movie where we didn't use it. Chirac. It's a movie that came out in 2015 this decade.
Nice call.
We didn't use it. I doubt we used it at all.
No.
Like, we used it much. Didn't use it much. Like, Spike made sure in the script it wasn't there. So
this one's going to be for you because I'm out of the loop on this one here. PRL18 says, what are the best 5 wrestling matches this year?
Jesus Christ. Buddy Murphy versus Roman Reigns. Buddy Murphy versus Daniel Bryan.
What about
Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship.
Not Brock.
Hell no.
I'm kidding.
what about the 3 ladies, the triple threat for the double?
That
title?
is not actually.
Nah, it should have been better. It was two people. The audience was exhausted by the time.
Yeah, by the
they
time
got to it.
you would have gotten more out of it. Again, WrestleMania is a 4-hour pay-per-view.
Longer than that, dude.
Yeah, like 5, 6 hours,
Yeah,
7, something
like
like that.
that.
So by the time you get
4
to
is back in the day when it was good.
yeah, because when you get to the main event, like the crowd has expended all their
Exhausted.
energy.
Yeah.
What was the next one?
Because that was the only one I watched of WrestleMania.
You think about that one because and then write it down. We'll come back. Why don't we do that one at the end of the show? Because that way you can think about it. All right. So then this is Matthias Polacco. Great year for movies. Difficult to make the list. I haven't done it yet, but I want to mention some underrated ones: Blinded by the Light, One Cut of the Dead, Two Popes, Claws, and Dr. Sleep. Claws I have to see. Because I've heard it highly recommended. Dr. Sleep I need to see, but Two Popes I just started watching. I'm halfway through it. It did not make my list yet because I haven't finished it, but it's really, really good thus far. Langley M. Neely, Where the White Woman At? Hiding from Jay. Matthew Hughes, I'm going to see The Rise of Skywalker once my back is fully healed. You like that one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
You broke him, Langley. You broke him. Matthew Hughes, I'm going to see The Rise of Skywalker once my back is fully healed, and I'm going to go to just try and enjoy it. I'm tempting to be less cynical. Love you guys. I think that's the way you got to do it, man. I'm telling you, that's the way. When I went in there and I watched it yesterday, it was the most fun I've had watching a Star Wars movie in a long time yesterday when I went to watch it with my 8-year-old. It was just the pure excitement and joy on her face when the crawl came up and the music played and everything too. It's just like, oh, that's
Anyone
what it's
looking
supposed to
forward
be.
to the Kingsman?
Yeah.
Am I right to be under the impression it's a Kingsman prequel?
Yes.
Yes.
Did
Absolutely.
Ben leave or fall asleep?
No, he's here, but he just he's.
Oh, my mic is off. Oh no, there it is. It got delayed. That's the only problem. It got delayed.
It got delayed
7 months.
Yeah, they moved
like
it. They moved it all the way to the back, which is interesting. But
I want to back you up on that too. Watching films with children does get you back to a space where all this negativity, all these things they don't pay attention to these nitpicky things.
All of it.
It's fantasy. It's whatever. It's it's a world, and they
dive
right into it, and they don't care if anything's canon. Or,
it's fun again.
Yeah.
It's fun again. That's why people. I get comments every day. When are you doing spoiler reviews? I'm not doing a spoiler review. I just choose not to. Someone's like, "Wow, he hated it and he was want to talk about it." Not true at all. I just don't want to talk about Star Wars anymore. It's not fun anymore to talk about Star Wars, but it's fun to talk about it with my friends. It's fun about it to experience it with my daughter. That's how I'm going to experience Star Wars from now on. And maybe when Mandalorian comes back season 2, we'll talk about it, but I'm done talking about Star Wars on the internet.
Best thing yesterday, my son goes, "When's a season 2 of Mandalorian coming out?" I'm like, "November." He goes,
yeah, I know. Yeah, seriously.
Baby Yoda.
You know, it's funny because I remember just being like in your space, man, thinking that like, fuck, like I've always been a huge Star Wars fan, but I never went like super in depth with it. Like I just really enjoyed it for what it was. And it sounds like it got to a place where you're like, I'm glad I'm done with that phase.
Like, I'm just done with it. Because when I started doing it with Far, Far Away back in the day, it was just me and Tiff and Ken, and we just had a lot of fun doing it. And at some point, it became less fun and just became like, okay, now we're like, I don't want to ever be like, oh, I have to talk about Star Wars. Oh no, what are they going to say if we say this, if we say that? What are you gonna say? I don't want to think about it. I just want to be able to have have fun and talk and like I said yesterday, I enjoy just being with my daughter and experience it that way because, like, it's like because the big problem is like I have never once ever done anything except given my honest thoughts on how I feel. But people don't want to hear that. They want to project you or whoever else in a thought of, well, that's how I see you, or that's how someone else sees you. What's that?
I don't know. Just something played.
Someone else sees you that way, so that's the way you are. And I'm going to assume
that's how it is when I do Marvel movies.
But all that shit. It's like, to me, I don't want to do that anymore. It's like you and people say, well, where's your spoiler review? There are so many different. What I've been doing now is I tweet out when people ask me. I tweet out Ken and Joseph's Force Center because I think those are guys who have fun talking Star Wars and breaking it down. And even they get hit with shit. It's like. So have it, and it's all for you guys. It's like for me, Star Wars is a thing I'm saving for me and my kids, and I'm just not talking about it.
I remember doing that with Captain Marvel this year. Like I enjoyed Captain Marvel, but God help me, in the comments of the review.
Bye, Mr. Robots. Fuck off.
You know what I'm saying? God help me in my comments. People like, oh, you didn't just like this. You're just being paid by Disney. Like, no, I just like the movie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care how you feel about Brie Larson as an actor. First of all, you give me Samuel L. Jackson in any movie, I'm going to watch it. I've watched Formula 51 more times than I can count. And if you don't know what that movie is, he wears a kilt and cornrows and is named Elmo McElroy. Okay? Yes.
It's pretty fun.
It is a fun movie. It's him, Robert Carlyle. Meatloaf is in the movie. Yeah. You have to watch Formula 51. So anything with Sam Jackson, we'll watch. I had fun with Ben Mendelsohn is hilarious in this movie. And so, like you say, I have fun with it. Right. Just because it's my honest opinion. It doesn't have to reflect what you like. Because even when Winston and I did the Star Wars review, I told people and things, look, this is how we feel.
But that's the problem I had also is the fact you can say that a million times over and like
we'll take it out of context.
But sometimes, but then rational people will listen to it, and the ones that they're not here to hear. They're not there to hear that. They're there no matter what you. It's the blinders are on. They're just going to say whatever the fuck they want to say. Like there's some dickwad just now. It's just like, well, you contributed to the negative stuff in the first place. No, I didn't. For the entire time, if I'm going to say something about a particular thing that I feel, I'm going to express it. I don't think that hate is the way to go. Ever.
Agreed.
You can tell your opinions and thoughts about what you think works or don't work. I thought you guys did it very well in your review. There's certain things you just did not like about the movie, and I thought you expressed it very well. It wasn't hateful. It wasn't just going after people who like it or don't. It's a whole thing. So that's really. I want to get into the rest of this shit though too, because I don't even want to talk about that shit anymore. So let's go back into Super Chat. Epsilon Audio. Hey guys, I love the show. That White Claw bit just killed me. Where would you rank Once Upon a Time in Hollywood among Tarantino's other flicks? Let's save that for a second because we'll go back to that in a little bit. Tim Sim, best movie of the decade for 2010s. Mine is BR2049. I don't know. I've never seen that one. Oh, Blade Runner. That's the best one. Wow. RB3.
The way you broke it down, you was like, wait, what?
What is that? BR2. Yeah, I didn't know what that was. All right, let's see. I'll get into my top 10 here. Because this is the top 10 that I had over this last. I watched a couple over the last week, so I could get these things potentially in my top 10. Ones that did not make it, and I just changed my list during this show, okay? Because this is how much there were so many great ones. Honorable mentions for me. Rambo obviously is an honorable mention. So I have Rambo as an honorable mention. Rocket Man is an honorable mention. Knives Out is an honorable mention. One that was very hard for me to keep out, and it was in my number 10, and then I dropped it out at the last minute, was Uncut Gems. I love that movie, but I just missed out. So good. Honey Boy also doesn't make the cut for me, and I just dropped it out. I had it in there, but I just dropped out Parasite. Those were now look, remember that I loved Parasite, and I thought it was a very interesting, very different movie, and it's a movie that should be seen. I just think that the hype for me what got me. Like when I watched it, I was like, this is a really good movie. I don't know what I was expecting because everyone was raving about it. It's on everyone's number one list, and I think that maybe if I would have seen it with everyone else, it'd probably be in my. I think it's great. I think it's a very well directed movie. I think it's great acted. I think it's original, and I don't know. There's just so many other movies that are my top 10, and I will say that I think some of the, as far as a made film, I think that some of the top 10 in my list, Parasite is a better made film than some of the movies on my list.
Makes fair.
I'm talking about enjoyment overall. Some of these movies I've seen twice. Some of these movies I've seen 3 times.
Wow.
So I
think that's the best thing you said though about the overall enjoyment of each of these lists.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's important because people be like, well, how will you put that movie in this? And it's like, no, it's my personal level of enjoyment I had with these movies.
Yeah, that's what it is.
The Nightingale was a really good movie, but I'm never gonna watch it again because it was hard to watch. But it was a great movie. It's not my top 10.
Well, so here's my 10-1. Number 10 is My Name is Dolomite.
It's Dolomite is
Dolomite
my name.
is my name. Excuse me. Dolomite is my name. Dolomite is my name. I put that as you were saying it before. Dolomite is my name. Craig Brewer, I also think, is not getting enough credit.
He surely is not as a director.
Craig Brewer is a phenomenal director. He's done so many different things, so many great things, and it makes me more excited even after seeing this movie of what Coming to America 2 is going to be now that they're working together.
The script is amazing.
You know what this felt like too? Dolomite is my name, and I don't want to cut off your time for your list. It felt like Bowfinger 2. It almost felt like an upgraded version of it.
But there was something about this movie that I just it was. Eddie Murphy was back on point. It's exactly what you guys were saying before. But it had these moments of, even though there was hilarity and it was a comedy, it was exactly what Jay was talking about. It was a message of hope. It was a message in don't stop fighting, believe in yourself, but also know that you're not just going to be this air of positivity all the time. You're going to be down. You're going to be out. But what happens when you're down? Do you get back up? Do you believe in yourself well enough to say, well, I've gone through this in my life many times where people are like, well, that's not going to work. That's just trivia. No one cares about that. That's just this. That's just that. That's just you doing stand-up comedy. Why are you doing stand-up comedy? You blah, blah, blah. You just have to believe. If you believe in yourself, then you can make it happen. And because my buddy Mike Morabito showed me Dolomite in like 1995 is when I saw that movie, and it was one of the funniest movies I had seen. It was so, and I got it. Right away, I got it, and I wasn't, and I didn't grow up with it, but then he did, and so when he showed me that movie and what it was about, and they told me they were doing Dolomite, I was very happy about it. So, number 9, even though it was out and then it made it into 9, was Irishman. The Irishman, to me, when I saw it in the theater, it just, I understand that it's long. I get it, and I know how it's about 3 hours and 25 minutes or whatever it might be. 3:40, whatever it might be. But it's
3:40.
It's long.
Yeah, you didn't know it was that long.
It's almost 4 hours.
It's long, but listen. So the movie itself, it is Scorsese to me. Has he done this type of thing before? He has, but this is the best Pacino's been in a very long time. Minus the de-aging and everything else too, there was that certain flow of watching a master work and watching the way Scorsese does. Pesci also this is a great role for him to come out of retirement because it was a different role than what he has done in the past. Yes, it's a gangster, but it's not that, pit bull gangster that he played in Casino or in Goodfellas. It's a very different role. And watching the stuff that comes through with Jimmy Hoffa and the understanding of what Scorsese thinks happened to Jimmy Hoffa, that was fascinating to me. I've always been fascinated with the Jimmy Hoffa story, so that was number 9. Number 8. We have the same, at least another movie in the same list, and that's Fighting with My Family. I've seen this movie 3 times. And yes, it has a lot to do with my background in wrestling and watching and being a fan, but working in it, understanding I thought it was the most respectful wrestling movie I've ever seen.
Yes.
And it also showed me more about Florence Pugh and what an incredible talent she is, which also reminds me that Little Women just made my honorable mentions, which I also loved and thought she was great in that. But I thought Vince Vaughn was better in this movie than he's been in a lot of movies in the past. Lena Headey, there's so many Coltrane, so many different. Not Coltrane. Not Coltrane.
Stephen Merchant, Nick Frost?
No, Nick Frost. I was Coltrane and Frost mixed up. But anyway, so they there's comedy in it, but also the story between Paige and her brother, how that all played out, the truth behind it, the way that they switched up a little bit for the facts. I thought The Rock played a really nice role in it to where he didn't have to rely on his star power. It was really criminally underwatched, this film. It didn't do very well in the theater. It should have. It's a great movie, and I wish people would see it. I love Fighting with My Family. Number 7. Nobody had this on their list. The Peanut Butter Falcon. The Peanut Butter Falcon is a movie that I got lucky when the directors and writers came into Collider Live, and I watched it because they sent me a link, and boy, am I glad that I did, because Shia LaBeouf, even though Honey Boy, I think, was a very brave movie and a therapeutic movie, it's more of like a memoir. This is a full-on film where it shows vulnerability from Shia LaBeouf, but also Dakota Fanning, I keep Dakota Johnson, and then the kid. Ben, can you look?
Zach Gatsagan.
Thank you, Zach Gatsagan. Who they told me the story on how they found this kid in Venice, and he has Down syndrome, and they found him, and the way that they put this together, and they wrote this around him, and the studio didn't want him to put him in the movie. They said certain people went, not this studio, but certain when they pitched it along. It took a long time to get this movie made because they wanted to cast somebody else, but they fought for him. They got him, and there was so much. Mick Foley's in this movie. Jake the Snake Roberts is in this movie. You'd love this movie. Dude.
Oh, okay.
You would love the movie. It's about it's this kid. He's
You know what's crazy? I've got sent the link for Peanut Butter
You
Falcon.
need to see it.
It's on my honorable mentions. It's
I've got sent the link a couple times.
It would be in your list.
Okay,
it would definitely be in your list, and it's I absolutely love this movie, and I think that everybody should see it. 6, John Wick 3. It is, to me, probably even better than the first one, and I go back and forth with that. I can change that at any given day, but I just think that it continues on. It's very hard to make 3 really good movies in general, much less action movies that can seem very repetitive, but keeping the lore and the understanding and the I want to know more. I keep wanting to know more about this world, and that's very hard to do once you get to 3 films. Just ask The Matrix. Number 5 is another movie that I just watched again and liked it even better the second time, and that's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I cannot put this as a lower-ranked Tarantino film, going back to what people said before, because I really think this movie just hits on all cylinders. Brad Pitt is incredible. I think he will win and should win Best Supporting Actor. Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't get enough credit in it because he's overshadowed by Brad Pitt in this movie. But that's
saying something.
I know.
Yeah.
Have you seen this one yet?
Not yet.
Okay. There's so much. There's so many of those Tarantino isms in there, and there's things that happen, and you have to remember the title. I mean, a lot of criticism, what people say is certain things about the actual movie. The movie is called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Once Upon a Time. That's all you need to know about going into the movie
It's
itself.
a fairy tale type movie.
It's a Tarantino fairy tale.
It's a Tarantino fairy tale.
And it's such a Tarantino fairy tale in the way that it's written and the characters and everything about it. I really, really think this is an excellent movie.
The production design is crazy.
great.
How like they're driving down Hollywood Boulevard, and usually it's like a block. He did like the whole street, like 70s. It was crazy.
Yeah, and
it was nuts.
there's a
Or
scene with
60s,
a ranch,
sorry.
and there's just so many crazy. There's so many things that all tie back together. At one point, my wife, who had just watched it the first time, she didn't love it, but when she's watching it, she says, "What's the point of this?" I go, "It all pays off."
Where would you put it? Did you want to answer the Tarantino question? Where would you put it?
Let me do that after this
Okay,
list.
good.
But yeah, number 4 is Avengers Endgame. Another movie I've seen about 3 or 4 times. Not only is it, like you guys said, a movie that just ties up all these series of movies, it continuously, every time I watch it, it gets me emotionally in the spots that it's supposed to. And I think that it's very easy, and there's a lot of movies that have come out recently that sometimes cram too much story into one particular movie, and they forget about character, they forget about story. This movie did not do that.
I was going to say the fact that you have 2 moments with Robert Downey, both with his kid and with his dad, like, where you're not, it's not just an amusement park ride. I guess that's why I got so mad with Scorsese. I'm like, you have these moments.
Also, even Scarlett
Hug
Johansson
with Spider-Man, like when like in Homecoming, where he's like, "Oh, I'm not hugging you, I'm reaching for the door," and then the first thing he does when he gets him, he hugs him. Like,
Even Scarlett Johansson, we talk about the scene with her and Hawkeye, but also when she's sitting at the desk in Avengers Tower eating the peanut butter sandwich.
There's a lot. There's a lot of layers in that movie that people don't give enough credit to because it's a $300 million movie and because it's the biggest movie of all time, and people just see it as a as a big blockbuster film. Number 3 is 1917. Just saw this movie the other day. This is the definition of a gorgeous film. It was a perfect film to me. I think this is Sam Mendes' maybe his best movie, with American Beauty as a close second. But I think that this is a great movie. The trailer doesn't do it justice because and it's actually the trailer is what sold me on it because I'll watch war movies and like World War II and World War I, and those movies always fascinate me. And this movie is sold like it's going to be a big over-the-top war movie, and it's not. It's more about, again, going back to Dolomite, it's a human story. It's about this human spirit. What can it endure? And the fact that Sam Mendes' grandfather told him these stories, and this is what Sam Mendes put to film, and the great Roger Deakins bringing it, and the score. Oh, the score in this movie is just it's
Thomas Newman
killing
it.
It's so
killing
good.
It.
It's so good, and it's a really fascinating film that grips you from the start. And the one shot thing, it's cool. It's not what makes the movie. It's fascinating to watch and to see how he does it the whole entire time. But it's not just a gimmick. It fits into it. It's the story. It's the characters. It's the work by the actors. It's great. If you haven't seen it, you should. Number 2 is Joker. Joker's another movie that I've seen 3 times. Joker to me is some of the most brilliant acting that I think we have seen in a very long time. I think that Joker is, when you have to carry a movie like that from start to finish, really putting it on your back and moving with it. And this is not taking away from, again, the brilliant score in this movie or the directing by Todd Phillips or the great script. I was interested in an origin story by the Joker because of the way that he has not been portrayed in this light, and I thought it could be interesting how to do it. I was also worried about whether or not it was going to glorify him and what was going to happen and how they were going to do this, but I thought it was done in the right way, and I thought by the end you say, well, this was a mad, his descent into madness, you saw that path, and you saw how it was. And also they sold me on the Mean Streets and King of Comedy and all that, like that, and that's exactly what you got. I also am on the opposite side where I do think that we can make a sequel work if done correctly, because now I trust the team. It's only because I trust the team. It's I can understand I can understand when you look back now and go, why would you want to taint it? And I understand that point of view. I'm just saying that there's a possibility with this team, if still intact. I'm curious to see where the story goes. But from what they did and certain things that were able to happen in this movie, I loved it. So that was my number 2. Number 1, Ford versus Ferrari. This is just everything I love about movies. It just is everything I love about movies. When I saw it in the theater, some of the best car racing scenes you'll ever see, what James Mangold did, but the tag team of Bale and Damon together and watching what they did, bringing this story to life and the understanding of it. Josh Lucas is the villain of the year. He is such a scumbag in this movie.
So that my review was like, when you can beat out Thanos for villain of the year,
he's
like,
such
it's good.
He's such a bastard in this movie.
He's such a dick.
I love this movie. I love this movie, and it was a little. It's like I think it's like 2:15 or whatever it might be. But when my wife sat down to watch it again, I had no problem just plopping down on the couch and watching it again because the directing. I think James Mangold is a superstar of a director, and he proves it even more in this movie. And Christian Bale, even though I think Joaquin Phoenix to me should be the winner, and he might not be because it's a comic book movie and all these things that happen. I know Heath Ledger did it, but
that was posthumous.
Yeah, I know. But Bale, if it's either Bale or Joaquin, I'm okay. Because I think those were the 2 best performances I've seen so far. But I loved Ford versus Ferrari. I couldn't recommend it higher. I think it is. It's a there's some things that make you feel real good. There's some things that make you feel real bad. But overall, it's an intense ride, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. So that's it. That's my 10. And I left and I put all the honorable mentions in there too. But I want to see, because we're past time here. So what I want to try to do real quick is see if I missed any, and just
the wrestling matches. I got the 5.
Go ahead, give me the 5.
Okay, so Buddy Murphy versus Roman Reigns, Buddy Murphy versus Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston. I cried at the culmination of that. I don't care what people say about wrestling being scripted. It was just the fact that you finally have your first full black WWE champion and the way the story was built up. Cody versus Dustin from AEW. The brothers match was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and it told a story perfectly. And Kenny Omega versus Tanahashi from Wrestle Kingdom 13.
Okay.
Matches.
All right, well, check those out. Streamlabs.com/schmoedown. So you guys have an extra 10 minutes?
Yeah, we're fine.
Wentz Wagon, you said you won't talk about Star Wars anymore. Does that mean you won't be on Dark Side Light Side? No, I talked to John. I will not be doing Dark Side Light Side anymore. And he and I spoke, and I'll do a couple segments for him on his other show, but I will not be doing any more Star Wars talk. Jonathan put in a SCHMOEBOT. Villanelle. Oh, sorry. 2019 is about to end. This is from Jonathan. Can you put the SCHMOEBOT back on?
Oh, yeah.
I want to shout out to these animated films like Toy Story 4 and How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. Absolutely. Those are both really, really good movies for sure. Okay, let's see. What else? Sorry, guys. Villanelle says, besides Cats, what movie have you seen where you're confused about how they got that cast? Serenity came out this year as well, and I don't know why Anne Hathaway agreed to do that. Yeah,
I forgot about Serenity. That movie's fucking bonkers. It's fun bonkers, though. Cats is it's probably harder to watch, but the twist in Serenity is worth a Netflixer if it's on Hulu or something.
Okay,
it's worth watching. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's true. I don't know other ones that I can think of. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Casting, I don't know.
Yeah. Pac-Man Dwayne, hey guys, quick question for Jay. I've been thinking about getting into the world of wrestling as a wrestler. I'm 26. I live in Maryland, so MCW is my local wrestling school. When you decided, any advice, and when you knew this is what you wanted to do? Fart noise.
So the main thing I can tell you is just do it. It's just like with stand-up. You got to go train. Here's the problem. If you're not ready to get your ass whooped for at least the first month and a half training, you will not be able to handle this, because it's like a fraternity. They will
Is it cause they like my gangster walk? Is it cause they like my gangster talk? Is it cause they like my handsome face? Is it cause they like my gangster ways?
I'm white.
Whatever it is, they love it and they just won't let me be. I handle my biz shit, rats, homie.
Go rap and let me be free whenever I call. Come running 212 or 213. You know that I ball. So
It's 12:05.
But yeah, it's just getting in there, and also make sure you're physically ready for this, because the business of professional wrestling is a very physical business. No matter, like I said earlier, no matter what people say about choreography, scripting, and having writers, to be in that ring, it's a physical thing. Being back in the ring for me has been one of the craziest things. When I showed Winston my first match, he was like, well, damn, okay. Yeah. So it's like being able to do that again, you have to put yourself through that. And it's a mental preparation thing. So I would say make sure you're ready for this. Make sure this is what you want, because not only is it you, it's the person you're in the ring with you're responsible for.
That's right. Hotel Nerd put it in a SCHMOEBOT. Michael Dingus, my favorite thing in Star Wars is the Force users, lightsabers. I love the new trilogy because of that. I feel like people who dislike it want more of the war stuff, or don't want to change the OT, but change in Star Wars by taking Skywalker out in their saga. I think there's a lot of different things. I think that you'll have a lot of the Force and other things that'll pop up in The Mandalorian, especially season 2. I just think it's a matter of how certain things were executed, and everybody's entitled to their opinion on that. He follows up by saying, sorry for my last round about the new trilogy, but it leads to my question about Obi-Wan. I know you're really looking forward to it, Kristian. Me too, but it worries me for the same reason people dislike the new trilogy. Everything from it on it will be on a pedestal. It's going to be hard to touch. I understand that, because the lore, Mandalorian didn't have a lore. Mandalorian, I mean, it's got a lore, it's got an atmosphere that we're connected to,
but itself is not a.
But you're building the lore.
You're building it. So Obi-Wan, there's more to it, but there is that gap, and the benefit that I would tell people, or the positives going into it, is look what Deborah Chow has done with 2 episodes of Mandalorian. Look what Filoni and Favreau have done. Now I know that I think they might even be producing whatever it might be, but I think that. Because, and this is why I say Star Wars is the new medium, TV is the new medium for Star Wars, because you have more time to develop. And with Ewan McGregor didn't have
I'm not
enough
mad
time.
if you skipped my Star Wars question and comments.
Well, I didn't. I just read both of them. That probably came in late. So anyway, so I'm not worried about it, actually. Tavisha Productions finally got to watch Rise of Skywalker. It felt like a hand job from a girlfriend that was breaking up with you. The sacrifice felt hollow and nothing felt earned. Spoiler.
There are worse ways to get dumped.
There was emotional scene that seemed convenient, but it could have been someone else's scene originally. Still love getting new Star Wars. I mean, that's the thing, is you just gotta like watch. If you like watching it, you like watching it. Anonymous Streamlabs promo gift from Tavisca Productions. Well, thank you so much from Anonymous. Lydia Aaron, Happy New Year, gang. With the end of a decade upon us, where were you all at the beginning of the decade, way back in 2010? I was still here. I was here, and I was about to get married. Well, no, I just got married at this point. I just got married in 2010. Is that true? No. I mean, 2010 plus 10. I'm thinking it was already 2020. That's when I got married. So, yeah. So, it'll be 10 years in 2020.
Getting ready to graduate college. My senior year of college was great. We just dicked around, and I did well on my thesis, and there you go.
I was literally still in my wrestling career, but my wrestling career, because of my neck injury, was slowing down, and stand-up was happening. And I was starting to get on stage more because I didn't tell people about my neck situation. So it was just literally starting to be that transition.
Right. So
I had my baby girl then.
Oh, there you go. Wow, that's crazy. All right, let's see. So now we get to Ben. Where were you?
Same with Winston, about to graduate college.
Okay.
Yeah.
Michael Dingus again. Good for you, Kristian. I love Star Wars, everything about it. The only thing that brings me down about it is the division, negativity, and worry about getting new Star Wars as a result. I hate it all. I hate that it brought you out of it and still enjoying. Much love. Well, thank you, Michael. Yeah, I mean, look, this is why, and I actually really enjoy doing this. I love doing the Schmoedown, so this is kind of where my passion lies right now. AFL Patron does a Schmoedown, Schmoebot. Michael Dingus again, who just put in a Schmoebot. Thank you so much. And let's see if we get, so let's stop with the Streamlabs because we got to get the hell out of here. And now we get to the Super Chat, which says, Matthew Hughes, I'm going to see, oh, no, sorry, it's Epsilon Audio. No, sorry, I did all these already. So Tim Sim, best movie of the decade for 2010. And then this is Haskell 420. Did you see the Netflix 25-minute Irishman special with De Niro, Scorsese, Pacino, and Pesci talking about how the film got made, the de-aging, and more? Must watch. I did not see that, so I'll probably have to check that out.
It just popped up as trending.
Yeah, no, I gotta check that out. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Ben? Oh, that's not it. Oh, before you do that, I also want to give a shout out here too, because I didn't do it on the last show, and I want to make sure that we do. Big shout out to our boy and our friend and our brother, Paul Preston. Our love goes out to Paul, who lost his lovely wife, Karen, on Christmas Eve, and our heart breaks for him. He is a really, really good dude, and she was an angel. I loved every minute that I got to spend with Karen, and I love what Paul and Adam have brought to the Schmoedown, and I look forward to doing so much more with him and them and everything. So, and I really am proud of the Schmoedown community and this community for reaching out to him, having his back during this time, and we'll be with him. We'll be with him, and we'll be helping him out. She asked the day before, she had posted a really heartwarming message from her bed, and she asked us to take care of Paul. And you got my word, Karen. We're going to take care of Paul. So thank you guys so much for joining us here today. Thank you to Jay Washington today. Jay, it was good to have you for sure.
Thank you.
Make sure you check out Jay. Check out the podcast, Mad Titan Podcast. And you got Winston Marshall here, Brett Sheridan, Ben Goddard, the whole damn crew, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be back. I think we're going to do a show tomorrow. So check us out. We'll be here tomorrow. Click some likes. Go on to the Clips channel. If you haven't been, people keep asking, where do you watch the clip outs? You'll do it. And you'll get the time codes. Don't worry about it. We'll see you tomorrow.
Time codes.
Peace out, mother Fs.